there, humans. It's Space Ghost. I was supposed to say something funny. So here is Yab's Pod.
Hello, all you boys and girls. Welcome back to yet another bullshit podcast. Today is July 31st, 2022. I'm here with Dalton as always. I'm Jeremy as always. Did you know, Dalton, today is the day George Jetson was born?
I saw something about that and I was like, wow. I didn't realize that the Jetsons were set like in that time frame. You know what I mean? Like I thought that it was like the year 3000 or whatever. I guess I need to go back and rewatch the Jetsons. But yeah, that's fucking cool, man. He was born somewhere on planet Earth.
Somewhere on planet Earth today, George Jetson was born.
That gives me hope for the world when I'm old.
Yeah. So happy birthday, George Jetson. Speaking of, I remember like 2006 watching a episode of Family Matters. And I want to say it was like an episode where Carl had convinced Laura to go on a date with Steve Urkel. So like he wanted him out of the house or something. And then he falls asleep on the couch. He wakes up in the future and like Laura's married to Steve and has like 8 little Urkel babies and like it's just a nightmare. Well, he goes to sleep and when he wakes up it's like 15 years later, 2004. And I was watching this in like 2006 and I was like, God damn, I'm old. And I was only like 20 then.
And I remember having that same feeling when I was like, I think I was scrolling through Facebook or something like that, and this was a few years ago now. And I think I've even brought this up on the show before. I'm scrolling through and I just see Powerpuff Girls coming to Boomerang.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what a dagger in the heart that is.
We're getting old there, buddy.
In my head, Boomerang shows cartoons from like the 60s, and now it's showing cartoons from my childhood. That's like when I heard Red Hot Chili Peppers on the local classic rock station. I was like, oh goddamn, don't tell me that they're fucking classic rock already.
Oh, fucking the oldie stations now are playing the shit I listened to as a kid. Like it's getting rough out there.
It really is, yeah. There's gonna be one day that we flip on fucking classic rock, and it's gonna be like Man in the Box, Alice in Chains, and things like that. It's oh. Where did the time go?
Your kids are going to be like, why are you listening to that old people music?
Yeah, and their music just sounds like a bunch of farts.
Yeah.
It's like that South Park episode.
That's Stevie Nicks. This is Steamy Nicks. He just shits his britches.
What for? I don't know.
Poor britches.
Britches.
So, how was your week there, Dalton?
It's been all right, man. It's been all right. Some interesting things. I went and cut up. Remember the tree that fell during the storm? Yeah. I went and cut up the base of that trunk that had broken off, and there were termites in it. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why it broke.
Well, there you
go. So there's that. I got a message today on Twitter, from oh god, hold on. I took a screenshot of it and then lost it. There it is.
Dalton's starstruck, but he can't remember who the star was.
From Kyle Booth, right? And Kyle Booth is a music composer from Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord and Yukio, and then a bunch of those are probably other games in Japanese that I can't tell you what they are because I can't read kanji. But yeah, he wrote me and he's like, this is for the JRPG report. Hey Dalton, I hope this message finds you well. Just wanted to send you a message to say I really enjoy the podcast. I enjoy listening to all the latest news on your pod, and I enjoy listening a lot at the moment. Keep it up, man. Really enjoying what you do. And
tweet him back and tell him he should listen to Yab's pod, and then he'll stop following you on Twitter.
Hey, I plugged Yab's pod on the recent JRPG report.
Nice. So yeah,
I don't plug it often on there because it's a family friendly show, but
he probably won't listen anymore.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then our buddy Tom hit me up and is doing a game for a game jam and asked me if he could use one of my songs for his game. And I was like,
the good old rag, man.
Yeah, man. Ragsy. Yamas.
Old
So
Major
definitely-
Tom himself.
Shout out to Tom. Check out his games on Steam.
Yes.
Let me double check what the names of them are.
Yeah. We're going to plug you, but we're just going to be like, yeah, there's this guy named Tom. He's got games on Steam. Go download every game on the Steam library. You play them all. You'll cover them.
So his 2 games that are out right now are Recruit 1, which is a free game, and then Fragments, which is $2.99. And go throw that man $2.99. Like, it's definitely worth that.
Yeah. Support the rag, man.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since, he bought some of my music this weekend and stuff, and he was like going to use it for a game. And I'm like, that's awesome. And he said that the game's going to be free, so he asked for a Steam Machine Discord invite. That way, whenever that game comes out, he can share it.
Nice.
And I'm just saying, like, I might jizz a little bit, just like playing through a game, and all of a sudden I hear one of my songs kick in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, skeet, motherfucker.
I don't know. I know this girl's on TikTok and like whatever the Facebook version of TikTok is. I think she goes by Jinx, but I'm sure you've heard it because it's been like in the zeitgeist lately. That song, Victoria's Secret. So this
I might
girl
have avoided this one.
This girl sings a song about like it's about body positivity. It's basically saying like how some old dude in Ohio created Victoria's Secret and he's cashing in on like body shaming women and stuff like that. So she wrote this song. It's been all over, social media for the last at least week or two. She posted a video. I saw it last night. I don't know when she posted it, where she was sitting in her car and she was like, they said that they were going to play my song on the radio tonight. Apparently, whatever station it was, the station used to do like the top 20 or whatever, and they would play all the songs from 20 to 1. So apparently her song was the number 1 song on that countdown. And like, dude, to see her, like, she literally started crying when she heard it. And like, dude, that is so cool to see somebody that has put so much effort into their art be recognized like that. That's so cool to see. So like, congrats to Tom. Go buy his game. Go buy Dalton's music. You can just Venmo me because I don't have anything, but you can just send me money if you want to.
I remember. Do you remember again, it was like a TikTok thing, and I think they're called the band or something like that, AMH. But it's like the fat guy singer, and they did he did the Jack Black thing from Tenacious D, and it was
because he sounds a lot like Jack Black. And then Jack Black did the duet with him.
Thank you. I couldn't think of that word. Yeah, the duet. So one of the things that was cool to me is the video where they were talking about, we're in the recording studio and literally next door is Dee Snider. And like, as they're talking about it, the door just gets kicked open and Dee Snider comes in and starts into the video. And I was like, oh, that's gotta be so cool. Cause like one of the first tweets I ever put out was to Dee Snider. And I said, if you could choose a song from the catalog of Twisted Sister for me to learn how to play and cover in my band, because I was in a band at the time, what would it be? And he came back and he told me, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And I was just like, I couldn't believe he fucking replied to me. You know what I mean? And so the band broke up, and I learned the main riff to that. I need to go back and I did actually like learn that whole song, and then I'll do a cover of it, maybe end an episode with it one day.
Nice.
Which, just going to go ahead and say, apologies. I haven't done anything for the music for this week. So by the time I edit this, I don't know if I will have or not. So if there's no music, apologies. But
if not, sorry. We're not professionals.
I do enjoy doing it though. I just haven't had the time this week. I've been doing a lot of yard work.
Yeah, I've tagged a bunch of people and shit on like Twitter, and usually I'm just like, hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Shaq, come guest host on Yabs Pod one week. And of course, I never hear anything back from anybody, but fuck it, I'm gonna shoot my shot anyways. Dude, I fucking tagged Charlize Theron and was like, hey, will you marry me? She said in an interview she likes dudes with a good beard, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna shoot my shot and see what happens.
Oh yeah, why not? I realized that I have a massive crush, and I've never watched anything that she's in, but I see her all the time. I think her name is Kat Dennings.
Oh yeah, Kat Dennings. Hell fucking
Oh,
yeah.
she is adorable, dude.
Yes. I mean, Two Broke Girls was actually pretty good. Like, that show's worth watching.
My dad likes that show a lot.
I mean, if she wears that fucking waitress, like, top with as much of her boobs inside of it as she can possibly fit, more than likely. But, like, she was in the Thor movies. She was in Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which is an underrated movie. If you like shit like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, it's sort of in that same vein, but it's a very, very good movie. I really like it. So yeah, if you haven't watched Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist out there, give it a shot. Pretty good. It was Michael Cera, I'm pretty sure, and her. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it was Michael Cera. But definitely.
It sounds like it would be a Michael Cera movie, like Juno.
Yes, Michael Cera and Kat Dennings.
What really like made me fall for her was I saw this clip, and it was her and her co-star from Two Broke Girls, actually.
Yeah.
On who's the chubby British guy who has the talk show?
James Corden.
Yeah, him. Okay, so it was his show, and they were on there, and Jason Alexander was also on there, and Kat Dennings started talking about that her answering machine on her phone is that thing from Seinfeld with George. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Yeah. So he thought that was hilarious and ended up like getting her phone and re-recording it for her live.
Nice.
Like they played the music over the speakers and he sang it, but he said, he changed George from George to Cat.
Yeah.
And it was super cool. And I was like, okay, she's a fan of Seinfeld and she's super freaking cute. I'm in.
Yeah.
And she's pale, and me and pale chicks, like that goth porcelain skin look. I'm in love with it.
So Kat Dennings, if you're listening to the podcast, you can marry me or Dalton. Either of us will treat you very well.
We're starting to sound like those Facebook comment things that we were talking about before we went on air.
Yeah. You're so pretty. Oh, I want to marry you. I don't know you. I've never met you. I've only seen 6 pictures of you on the internet, but I want to marry you.
I was telling Jeremy that anytime I'm down and I need a good laugh, I can go into the pictures of my pretty friends on Facebook and see like all of these dudes that are like in their 50s around here in Keystone that are like, "You're so beautiful."
It's like you read the comment and you can just hear the in the background.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you're so pretty.
They're the types of people that don't know how to take a selfie, so it's just them like laying down with that double chin looking at their phone, and they just take a picture. They're just like, like, I try to avoid that position in pictures at all costs because I've got about 3 chins in that position.
Dude, that's what the beard is good for. Like, dude, it hides all that shit.
See, yeah, I got you can see a creepy man. I got creepy man neck. That's about it. Nothing here, and I shave this part with a razor. Like whenever I think about it, and it just never comes in thicker. I think that's bullshit.
Dude, try biotin supplements. Biotin is the vitamin that helps your hair and nails grow. So when I started first growing my beard out, I was taking like 5 or 6 times the daily recommended amount of biotin. And dude, like I was literally having to cut my nails almost twice a week. Like, it was so bad. Probably like 3 times every 2 weeks. They were growing so fucking fast. But, like, dude, you see the beard is like, it's like those fucking weeds that grow, like, in the low part of your yard where all the water builds up when it rains. And, that grass, you fucking grab a handful and you can't pull it out of the ground. That's how the beard is.
Let me tell you, I have a story about some of that grass. We'll get to there in a second. But, like, my hair on my head. Yeah. Is super fucking thick. So like I would be afraid to take that shit because if my hair got any thicker, like something could die in it of suffocation. And I shave the undersides. You can't tell, but like this is way shorter than the rest of this stuff.
Be like a archer. Like my hair is so thick, my barber charges me double.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like there are times that I've cut my hair and looked and just like cutting the undersides of my hair, and it's enough hair for someone to have on their entire head.
Dude, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I have seen like the first 4 episodes of the first season.
So I think this dude was in the first season, but I used to tell my wife when we were together that I was going to do my beard like this. Like, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh man, just long mutton chops and then braid 'em.
It's basically long mutton chops braided together underneath the chin in the middle. And she was like, if you do that, I will never talk to you ever again. I was like, oh, I'm fucking gonna do it.
But speaking of thick grass, so my grandpa randomly hits me up and he's like, hey, are you busy? And this is like 8:30 in the morning. So I'm like, no, of course not. Like, I've been awake all night. I'm just sitting here doing nothing. What's up? And he's like, your uncle's had an earache for a week and his yard needed to be cut a week ago. So will you come cut his yard? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go over there. I get on his mower. So my grandpa's got a 0-turn mower, right? It's it's a little badass little motherfucker. Oh, yeah. And, put some gas in it and everything. So I'm going to pull out of the driveway and he tells me to hold on and he goes and gets in his Murano and then he drives behind me and he follows me over there. Like, as slow as the lawnmower is going because he didn't want anybody to drive up behind me, I guess. So he was just looking out for my safety. Anyway, dude, I have not cut a yard that was that like overgrown and thick since I was doing property preservation and we would go to houses that hadn't been lived in months. And there were two areas where, and I know you know what I'm talking about, where it's like you said, there's just one, it's just darker green.
Yeah, it's a low spot where all the water just sits and absorbs in, and that grass is just fucking superhero grass.
Dude, I swear, I was going through it, and it was like, it's the kind when you're going over it, when the mower will start bogging down.
Oh, yeah.
So I was having to, in the front, so I attacked this one spot. Instead of going in my lines like I was doing, I came at it from the side and just in, out, like I was fucking it. Just nailing down the grass till it was all gone, right? In the backyard, there was a bigger patch to that. And I was like, okay, let me do this. So I went to go do that, and I went too far forward the first time. And it went and just cut the fuck off. And I'm like, oh, God damn it.
And
so my ass...
You have to understand how hard it is to choke off a fucking rotting mower. Like, this grass is something on the next fucking level.
It really is. It's like the whole... And so my dumb ass is like, all right, I'll just pull the mower out, not realizing like, oh yeah, this 0-turn's probably a lot heavier than the mowers that we used to have. So I go in the back and I grab up under the metal by the motor and didn't think about it. And I grabbed it and I pulled and I put that pressure down and my fingers just went... Yep. So all of my fingers got burned, right? So now I'm like, ow. So I get back on the mower, I crank it up, turn the blade off and everything, and I'm able to slowly back it out. And then I have to like tap mow it. But like, I just want to tell you guys, like, yeah, like he said, the fact that this grass stopped a 0-turn mower, those things have some serious horsepower. And this grass was just like, nope, your blade is stopping and we're going to turn off. It's fucking wild, man.
Now, I will say, if you get in that situation again, the best way to cut that shit, raise your deck all the way up as high as it can go and literally mow it at every level of the deck. It's like bring it up to like, mine's like 6, mow over it, knock it down to 5, mow over it, knock it down to 4.
And you know, I would do that when I used to work.
Yeah.
Like I would have my foot on that pedal.
Yep.
And I would push that pedal down, ride over it, come back over it, lower it. But I don't know why I didn't do that this time. It was just, I was just like, oh, I could just tap it. Go in, go out, go in, go out.
You're like, fuck that grass.
And it was like, no, oh yeah, fuck me, fuck you.
Yeah, the grass was like, oh yeah, no soup for you.
Hold my beer. But yeah, speaking of some yard work, so my dad, we're outside the other day and he comes out and he lights a cigarette and he's like, dude, I gotta tell you. He goes, I'm out front today and I was weed eating. And he goes, and I was just weed eating. And he said, and I felt something on my pants. Like I felt something heavy brush against my pants. He goes, and I looked down and there was a big ass black snake going across my shoes. And he said, I didn't even have time to do anything. Like he goes, it was moving quick. So he's like, by the time I looked down, it was making its way over my left foot and off me. He goes, so I didn't even have time to freak out. It's like I was just standing there in shock. Just so that made me think, do you have any fun snake stories? Because I've got a couple snake stories.
So let me start by saying I don't hate snakes. They're just animals. They're just doing their snaky thing. They creep me the fuck out though. Like severe anxiety. Like I can't touch snakes. I don't want to be near snakes. Whatever. They don't have legs or arms, but they can move and climb and shit, and that's not natural. It goes against the natural order of things.
Oh, I mean, technically it is natural, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
They look slimy, even though I know they're not. I just don't fucking like them. I don't like touching shit that looks slimy or is slimy, so I don't like touching lizards. I don't like touching snakes or bugs or fish. Fish are slimy, but you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't like frogs. Fucking hate frogs. Like, the idea of touching them or anything. Like, literally, if something, like, touches me, like a frog jumps on me, I freak the fuck out like a scared little kid. Like, can't fucking stand it. Like, literally, if you put a snake on me, we will no longer be friends. That's the level of just hatred I have for that. So, let me tell this story. I go to, I'm living in a single wide trailer at the time. Dating this girl named Kristen. We dated for 2 years. I hated her after like 6, but we stayed together. I don't know why. But we're in this single wide. I'm watching college football. Old school, like, I'm talking, it's like '05, I think. So like old school, big rear projection, like 55-inch TV. Watching college football. Halftime comes up. I'm like, hey, let's go check the mail while it's halftime. She's like, okay, I'll walk with you. So I didn't have any air conditioning in the single wide. It was fucking balls ass hot. It was on top of a hill, no shade trees or nothing, just right in the sun. So I had a piece of old countertop. I like leaned up against the front door to keep it open so some air would blow through. Yeah. So we go outside. I knock the countertop down, close the door. We go out, walk to the mailbox. It's like a good 100 yards or so. Walk back. I open the door, I go to pick the countertop up, and she fucking screamed. But we had a mouse problem, so I was like, she probably saw a mouse. I look up, dude, inside my door, inside the threshold, is a fucking rat snake that I swear to God, this rat snake was like 8 feet long. He was like this big around. Like, I'm literally, think of like a really nice plump tomato. He was like that big around in the middle. Like, I freaked the fuck out because he like dips his head down and starts like going out of the house. Are
you sure it was a rat snake?
It was black with like a white, like an off-white underbelly, so I'm assuming rat snake.
Okay. I was just curious.
Like, I don't know that much about snakes, but I go get my neighbor because she's like, loves animals and shit. I'm like, hey, come get this snake out of my house before I burn the fucking house down. Like, with all my shit in and everything, I don't care. I will burn it the fuck down. She comes over and the snake, like, her and her boyfriend come over. Her boyfriend brings a gun with him because he's like, I'll just shoot the snake. I'm like, good. I'm like fucking the Godfather at this point. I'm like, I want him dead. I want his family dead. Like, he fucking broke into my house and yeah. So his girlfriend stops him from shooting it. It gets off into the woods, whatever. From what I'm told, that particular type of snake is good to have because it will kill any other snakes that come in its territory, including like copperheads and water moccasins, which we have here. But he fucks off. I'm like working third shift that night, so I'm like, I don't have to sleep here. I'm good. Like Kristen goes to stay at her parents' house that night because she didn't want to be there by herself with that big ass snake came back. So yeah, that freaked me the fuck out. And I should have thought of something because like we had a really bad mouse problem. Like no matter what I did, I remember seeing like 4 or 5 mice like playing on top of each other one time in the kitchen on top of a fucking glue trap I put down. So like tells you how much glue traps actually work. And then all of a sudden we didn't have a mouse problem anymore. And my dumb ass is like, oh cool, maybe they left. Nope. They fucking went into that big ass damn anaconda of a fucking rat snake that was living in my house apparently. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's still fucking, it gives me cold chills just thinking about it. Like, I do not do snakes. Like, I hit one with a weed eater once, like a little teeny tiny fucking, like, green snake, garter snake or whatever. And like, I hit it with the weed eater and I saw it all like fucking do its little flippy convulsion thing. I fucking called my stepdad to come up there and get rid of it so I could finish weed eating because I'm like, I didn't even want to fucking go near its dead body. And I'm so freaked out about snakes.
I can understand that, man. My dad's mom was like that. She fucking like had a serious fear of snakes.
Yeah.
And and she lived in Alva, Florida. So like there was this day that she walked out her back door in her little I guess it's like a retirement community that she lived in.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like a trailer park for old people.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, she walked out her back door and there was a snake up on top of the little thing and it fell on her and she flipped the absolute fuck out.
Yeah, no thank you. Now, like spiders, I'm cool with. I can take care of the spiders. Can't handle the snake. I can take care of the mice. I can deal with mice. Can't fucking do the snakes. I just like fucking cold chills just thinking about this shit. I can't fucking stand them.
And so my friend's mom had a snake that she kept as a pet. You know what I mean? I don't remember what kind of snake it was, but she used to bring it to my house and she would like hold it and like put it around her neck while we were just like sitting around having conversations and stuff. And I remember walking into my living room one day and I'm standing there talking to people and all of a sudden I just feel something around my neck and I feel the little flap of a tongue on my cheek, right? And I know that animals can sense fear.
Yeah.
Right? So I stayed calm and I said, Christine, I'm going to stay very calm right now. But I'm going to tell you, get this fucking snake off of me right goddamn now. Right now. Get this fucking thing off me. And she grabbed it and she took it off. And I turned around and looked at her and I was like, don't ever put that fucking snake on me again. Now, I feel the same way about you. I love looking at snakes, except the ones that have, okay, so I have that weird phobia where like, if there's like a bunch of little holes, it just freaks me the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there are certain types of snakes that have these little holes that line their mouth, and that just freaks me the fuck out. I don't know why. Like, it's...
Or the ones that have little ear holes is weird.
Yeah, it's just, it just tripped. It's just, I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. It's like tryptophobia or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's right. Dude, speaking of tryptophobia, do you remember, this was probably
21st night of September.
Yeah, that one. Do you remember, like, probably 10 years ago or so, there was, like, a viral image around Facebook and shit of, like, somebody's knee, and it was, like, a bunch of holes in it with, like, look like little worms coming out of it?
Yeah, that's how I know I have that's how I know I have that phobia.
Dude, like, I don't have tryptophobia or whatever it is, but that image, and, like, they proved really quick, like, this was Photoshop of, like, some flowers, like, seed pods that they Photoshopped on a person. But I was like, dude, that fucking image and thinking about, like, holes with fucking worms coming out of them in your skin, like, yeah, like,
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Like, dude, that fucking freaked me out on a fucking psychological level. Like, I was just like, ugh.
You just don't know, bro. Like, the one that I saw the knee one, and I saw one that was a palm of the hand with the same flower. Yeah. And, bro, I mean, I'm like, look at my hands. Like, it literally, it freaks me the fuck out, bro. Like, Jesus, don't Google. Do not Google what we're talking about. Like, literally, just take our word for it.
Do Google it. Do it. Because if we had to suffer, you have to suffer.
Don't do it. See, this is the angel and devil on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Don't
do it. Do it. Like that ICP thing. Do it, fucker. Bring me the Google. I'll fucking do it for you.
Hello, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. I knew you wouldn't do it, you scaredy bitch. That's such a funny skit. It really shouldn't be funny, but it is funny.
It's really shitty, but yeah, it's fucking, knowing it's fake, it makes it funny.
Yeah, in the context, yeah. So another snake story that I have, I might have told this one on the show before, so I have two more snake stories. One was when I was with my ex. I'm laying in bed, I'm watching Futurama, she's in the shower, I'm like, hell yeah, if the girls go down for a nap, I'm having some sex soon.
Nice.
She comes running into the bedroom, still wet, soaking wet, naked as fuck, freaking out. There's a snake in the bathroom. She lives on a lake, by the way, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm the man of the house. There's no one, like, there's no other, like, person that's going to handle this. So I'm like, oh, God damn it. Okay. So my heart is going 1,000 miles an hour. Like, I'm fat. I'm afraid I'm about to have a heart attack. What I'm about to do is, right? But I have to do this because my family, I have to take care of them. I go into the bathroom expecting to see a big old snake in there or something. Yeah. And there's a coil about the size of, I don't know, what would you say? A large hamburger bun?
Yeah, probably so.
Like a grapefruit.
Size of a Big Mac.
Yeah. Like, Well, the size of the Big Mac in the pictures, not the actual Big Mac you get.
True.
But yeah, so it's just coiled up by the shower. So I said, okay, I need two things. I need a big Tupperware top, and I was like, and I need a folder that is not going to fold when it has weight on it. Like, give me something that's like got some shit, like some leverage to it. So she gets me the things I need, and I go in there, and it's in the corner. Like, it's laying in the corner. So I'm like, God damn it. I'm going to have to put this Tupperware thing down on top of it and then jiggle it to get it all, to get it in.
Yep.
Which I did. And I think I ended up cutting the very, very tip of the snake's tail off. And I apologized to the snake. I really did. I was like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry about your tail. And I got him. And he is now angry, flipping her out, like looking around in this fucking thing. So I'm like, bring me that folder. Give me the fucking folder, Savannah. Give me the fucking folder. And I'm like, I'm not being mean to her. Yeah. I'm just really nervous.
You are portraying your sense of urgency.
Yeah.
This shit needs to get done.
So she is still buck naked with a towel. Her hair is wrapped up in a towel. I have this image in my head of her running towards me and her little titties jiggling, and she's just like running around trying to find a fucking... It's just funny. It was just a funny image to remember. So she brings me this fucking folder. I slide it up underneath it and I grab it and I walk outside and I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw this. I'll pick all this shit up later. I throw it out into the yard and I run inside.
Lock the door behind you like the snake was going to open the door and come back after you.
So she posts, she had taken some pictures of it at some point before she run into the bathroom running into the room freaking out. And, she posted them on Facebook. Oh, I do want to say that I got to have a hero sex after that, and it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Hero sex is great.
but she posted pictures on Facebook, and people were like, "Oh, be careful, that's a baby moccasin." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, okay. So if it would have bit me, I'd have died." Yep. That's fucking wonderful to know. That's fucking wonderful to know. And like I said, I think I've told that story on the show before, but this next one. So when I still lived in Jacksonville, I was like, I moved here in first grade. So this is way back.
Oh yeah.
My mom and dad are out back smoking a joint. And my dad said it was nighttime. So he's out there in a shirt and his tidy whities sitting on the steps of the pool. My mom's out there in her little jammy outfit that she's got that has a little pocket on the shirt. That's going to come up later. So just remember, it's got the little pocket on the shirt. And my dad said it's like midnight and they're out there and I don't remember if they had just finished the joint and he's smoking a cigarette or what, but they were just sitting out there. And my dog, Isis, go ahead and clarify, this was in the 90s. It was still like all right to name things Isis back then. Yeah. So my dog, Isis, was like barking and like going at something, right? So my dad tells my mom to go get a flashlight. She comes out with
So you could say your dog was declaring jihad?
Oh my God. Yeah, there you go. So my mom goes and gets this little flashlight that you can't see shit with, right? This little pin light. And my dad goes, no, get a flashlight. Because they're like over and my dog's like barking at the bushes. So my mom goes and gets this like, what would you call it? It looks like it's a big light with a handle.
Like a lantern.
Yeah, or like a spotlight type.
Yeah, spotlight,
that kind of thing. So my mom put that little, and again, this will come up later. My mom put that little pin light she had in her pocket in her shirt. Okay. Like I said, that'll come up later. So they shine the flashlight. My dad, okay, so I'm going to be my dad telling this story from now on because he goes, so I shine the flashlight into the bushes and I see the biggest fucking snake I've ever seen in my entire life. He goes, Dalton, the head of this snake was as big as your fucking fist, right? He goes, this was a big snake. And it starts slithering through the yard. He goes, and of course, Isis, trying to be dominant, like jumps in front of it and bows down and starts barking at it. He goes, by this time, I told your mother, go get me a shovel. So she goes and gets me, not the new shovel that we had just gotten like 2 weeks before that. She goes and gets me the old rusty shovel that we had. So my dog's like in front of the snake barking at it, and the snake rears back and nails my dog in the nose. My dad said that Isis did a backflip and it sounded like somebody punched someone. That was just like boom, like the snake hit her. So he said instinctively he hit the snake right behind the head with that fucking rusty shovel. that didn't do shit because this snake was, like you said, like your rat snake was just huge around.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad said he is now holding all of his weight to pin this snake down that is wriggling under his shovel. And he tells my mom, Debbie, go get the fucking good shovel, like get the fucking folder, get the fucking shovel. And my mom goes and gets the good shovel, and my dad just boom, nails it, takes the snake's head off, and goes and gets a big plastic, like a trash bag. Yeah. So he's like heaving this big snake up and trying to get it into the bag. And my mom is leaning over, holding the bag for him. Well, about the time that my dad's putting that snake into the bag, that little fucking pin light falls out of my mom's shirt pocket and skitters down her leg. And my dad said my mom jumped like 6 feet in the air, screamed bloody fucking murder. And so they fucking get the snake in there, get the head of the snake, put it in there, they wrap it up, they put it out by the yard. So the next day I go to the neighbor's house and I'm playing over there with the kid. Or no, I'm sorry, this was like a week later. I come home and tell him, hey, apparently their boa constrictor got out and's living in their walls next door. Isn't that crazy? And my parents were like, yeah, that's crazy. And in their head, they're like, that motherfucker ain't in the walls. It's in that bag and the fucking garbage. So they had their fucking boa constrictor, python. It was one of the two.
I mean, y'all have pretty sizable python problem down there anyways.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, this snake got huge. Let me just let it go in the woods.
Yeah.
That's like, around Silver Springs, some monkeys got loose and they never found them. So now there's just like monkeys in the woods down there, like a thriving population of monkeys.
Nice.
And I'll be out back, and I live a decent ways away from Silver Springs, but it's not super far. Like, it's migratable distance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, I'll be sitting out back sometimes, and me and my mom will be out there with the dog, and I'll just hear off in the woods, like, and I'm like, nice. What the fuck? And I'm we have no explanation, so I'm always like, that's a goddamn monkey. Yes. The only way I could think of it, dude, is Florida. Gotta love it, dude. It's the Australia of America.
Basically, fucking Australia light.
Yeah. We don't have as many calories, but we'll still fuck you up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, dude, you had something interesting happen this week.
Before I talk about that, I want to show you what I found at the store the other day. I've never seen these before, but I had to buy them, so I got to grab it real quick.
I will make him post a picture of this in the Discord, too. For reference.
So,
oh, my God.
We all know Sour Patch Kids, right? But these are big Sour Patch Kids. Let me show you how fucking big these things are. I've never seen these before. Like, dude, look at this. Like, that's my thumb for comparison. This fucking Sour Patch Kid is like the size of my fucking thumb, dude. Like,
that's awesome. That is one of my favorite candies in the entire world.
Yeah, dude, I will fucking go to town on some Sour Patch Kids.
Absolutely.
I eat like 4 at a time because like I'm dead inside, so I need to feel that burn.
I will take a handful of them and then eat them by color. So like, if there's three yellows, I'm throwing those 3 yellows in my mouth, and then I save like the reds for last. You know what I mean?
So I'll say, what's your favorite color?
Ooh, red's real good. They don't have grape, do they? Unless you get the berry kind.
I think they all taste the same. But I was at the grocery store earlier. There's a bag of Sour Patch grape. It's literally nothing but grape Sour Patch Kids. They're all purple.
All over that.
Dude,
I'd be all over that.
The standard Sour Patch Kids, blue is my favorite and green is my second favorite.
Green's real good.
Yeah. So
orange is the worst.
Blue and green are like my two, like, I'll be like, yeah, get that blue one in there. That's mine. Yellow, yellow's me.
I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before, but I fucked up fake orange flavor for myself. So I used to do this drug that, again, kids don't do drugs, and I'm not proud of this, but I used to do Suboxone. I wasn't prescribed it, but my friends would have it, and I would take some of it. And let me tell you guys what Suboxone is. So when you get addicted to heroin, they give you methadone to get off of heroin. And then once you're addicted to methadone, they would give you Suboxone. And I think now they just straight give you Suboxone. I think they've skipped methadone altogether. But that was what Suboxone was originally for, was to get people off of methadone who were using that to get off of heroin. It's a fucking pyramid scheme. Anyway, Suboxone tastes like fake orange. Like, there's two different ways you can get it. You can get it in pill form, and you can get it in these little strips. Yeah. The little strips melt on your tongue. They taste like orange, fake orange, and it's disgusting.
They taste like orange the color, not orange the fruit.
Yeah, like orange, that you go to the dollar store and get you a fake ass 10-cent orange candy. That's that type of orange flavor, like a little orange sucker. But the pills, I never did a whole one. Like, I mean, I would chew it up and eat it like that, but like half one or whatever. But like, my buddy and me used to take them, and you could just, they were stops. They looked like a stop sign. Yeah. And we would just take them and break a corner off, crush that bit up, and do that little bump. And dude, I don't even know how to tell you how fucked up you would get. Like, you could fall asleep eventually, but you would just lay there with your eyes shut, and it was like you were consciously sleeping.
Oh, wow.
But if you moved too much at all, it's like Broxy's. If you move too much at all, you're going to throw the fuck up. If you watch something that's got too much movement going on, you're going to throw the fuck up. And it was the reason that my ex, who was on Suboxone because she was an ex-heroin addict, told me that I should never do heroin. She's like, I see the way that you like the feeling of Suboxone. She goes, you should never do heroin because you would become a heroin addict. You would like it way too much. And I was like, noted. And I have not done heroin, and I won't do heroin.
Probably a good idea.
And I admit that I stay away from pills because I do enjoy them too much. Like, when I get them prescribed, I enjoy them while I have them, but like, I don't buy them anymore because I just don't want to go down that path like I used to. But man, you want to talk about that Pink Floyd song, Comfortably Numb? I think we've had this discussion recently. Yeah, it was exactly like that. Like, but because I have thrown up so many fucking times from that just smelling that, my mom uses this certain cleaner sometimes that has that scent to it, and I banned her from using that in my bathroom. I was like, I would rather you use bleach in this motherfucker than use that stuff, because as soon as I smell it, I want to throw up. It's like a Pavlov's dog response.
Pavlovian response.
Yeah, it really is. Like, as soon as I smell that or taste that, I'm like, ugh. I just fucking can't even I can't help it. It just happens. It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, moral of the story, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids.
But anyways, dude, I'm jealous about that Sour Patch Kids bag because
I found it at Ross. It was still $5 for that fucking bag, but I was like, dude, I gotta get this just for like scientific study, if nothing else.
The only time I've seen the big Sour Patch Kids was when I was working at a grocery store, and it was around Halloween, and we had candy to give away to kids that would come by our department. And it was like the little bags, you know, like the little snack size bags of big Sour Patch Kids, and it had 4 Sour Patch Kids in there. Like, I'm feeling them, and I'm like, God damn, there's only 4 in here. Like, how big? So I ended up opening a pack and eating them. But I've never seen a big bag, and that's a big ass bag of them.
It is I've seen a 1 pound, 11.2 ounce bag. So damn near 2 pounds almost. Dude,
I will destroy, like, I would get a normal sized, like a big bag with the normal sized candies. Yeah. I'll dude, a week, that pound of candy's gone. If that, if a week. I don't know.
This says family size, but I live here by myself, so.
Well, good thing I am the size of a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I have always preferred fruity candy over chocolate.
Yeah. I love Reese's Cups, and I love Three Musketeers. I'm not a huge candy person, but like those two and gummies, like anything gummy-ish, you know, sour, like gummy worms, Haribo's. Haribo makes a peach candy. It's like these little peach chunks about like this big and about a little bigger than a quarter. They're really good. Haribo, the frogs. Have you had those? They're like peach flavored, but they're green gummies with that fucking like foamy white gummy stuff that they put on the bottom of some gummies. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
it's kind of clear. It's like the Coke bottles.
Yeah, like the Coke bottles, the Sharks, a bunch of different stuff have them.
Oh. Okay,
No,
so not the Coke bottle. I know what you're talking about now, though. The Sharks and
the
stuff.
Sharks,
yes.
like the bottom. It's like almost like meringue on pie. It's almost like gummy meringue.
Yeah,
but,
if gummy could be chalky.
Yeah. And like I fucking love that stuff. So yeah, like the frogs I eat, the Sharks. But yeah, like gummy, like I said, pretty much gummies, Reese's Cups, Three Musketeers. Don't eat M&Ms, don't eat Skittles, don't eat most candy. But those are like my go-to.
Bro, I will absolutely annihilate some sour Skittles.
Like I don't like the texture of Skittles.
No, I can understand that. Because it's a strange texture. But like, dude, the berry Skittles, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. I really am. Have you tried the watermelon Sour Patch things where it's just the pieces of watermelon?
No,
they're pretty tasty.
Apparently, my friend Ostara likes the watermelon Sour Patch Kids, so she got a pretty bad concussion a couple weeks ago. So I got her like a get well soon card, and I bought her a bag of Sour Patch like gummy watermelon. So yeah, she's devoured that bag. I think the day I gave it to her, but
dude, they're so good.
I haven't tried those. I always do regular, and they used to make Sour Patch Extreme Kids, where it was like,
oh yeah, I still see them around here.
I can't, dude. If you find them, fucking mail me some, because apparently they've been discontinued. I haven't been able to find them anywhere. Fucking love the Extreme Sour Patch Kids. You know what I never liked though? You remember Warheads? Yep. Never fucking liked them. They were too intense for me. Like my brother liked them, but I just couldn't fucking do them.
Oh man, we used to like to show how big our balls were. We'd see how many Warheads we could handle at one time. I think my record was 6 and my mouth felt like it was going to bleed.
Dude, one of my exes had 3 cats. Well, she had 2. When we were together, we got a Bengal kitten. This Bengal kitten, we called her Hurricane. She was fucking not right. Apparently, she got attacked when she was like little baby kitten. She got attacked by a Siamese cat at the breeder's house and was like dead for a little while. And like they actually like revived her since she had a fucking lazy eye for like a week or 2, and it finally like went back how it was supposed to be. I always said like the plug to her brain was kind of like not in all the way, and sometimes it would just jiggle loose because she was just fucking, that cat was weird. But she got up on the table one day and we had like Halloween candy out for the kids that were trick-or-treating in the neighborhood. And I was like, there was a warhead in there. I was like, this cat always wanted to eat whatever we were eating. So I cracked this fucking warhead open and held it up. She starts licking it, and like she licked it about 3, because you know, warheads, you have to get them wet with your spit to really activate. Like as soon as it got like wet enough, she hit it, she fucking did a backflip off the table and ran away, and I didn't see her for like a couple hours.
Oh, poor kitty.
Like she was not a fan of that. But I'm telling you, this cat would eat salt and vinegar potato chips. Like she would eat fucking anything. But that warhead was too much for her.
I loved warheads, man. The thing that fucked me up back in the day was Shock Dark gum.
Oh yeah.
It was just a big gum ball, and then you bit into it, and the inside was hollow, just full of malic acid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just my mouth is salivating just thinking about like.
You remember remember the drips, the sour, like you had the little like sucker thing, and you put the sour drips on it.
Yeah.
My brother was the king of sour candy. Anything as sour as he could fucking get, he loved it. And yeah, he would get those. My parents would go on trips, and they would just find like sour ass candies to bring back to him. And yeah, he loved the warheads. But dude, to me, the goat of kid candies was fucking Fun Dip, hands down. Fun Dip
was delicious.
For anyone who doesn't know what Fun Dip is, I'm sorry, you lived a shitty life. But what Fun Dip was little pouches of colored sugar. And they gave you like basically a stick of chalk, and you would lick that stick of chalk and get it all nice and sloppy wet. You dip it in that flavored bag of literally fucking sugar. This is fucking flavored sugar. You dip it in there and you pull the fucking stick of chalk out, and it'd have like a little fucking woolly willy toupee of fucking sugar. And you stick it in your mouth and suck the sugar off of the chalk, and then stick it back in until you ate roughly what? an 8-ball of sugar. Like, it was a fucking lot of sugar in there.
Maybe not quite an 8-ball, but yeah, definitely a decent amount.
Well, remember, you used to get it with like 3 different pouches of sugar, like in different flavors. So that was like the fucking, like, you got busted for intent to distribute. You got caught with one of those.
Not to mention the chalky stick thing is literally just sugar.
Yeah, it's literally just like compressed sugar.
It's a big pill of sugar.
Yeah. And so you would eat all the powdered sugar, and then you would eat the stick, and then you would do fucking backflips across the yard for about 20 minutes, and then you would just crash wherever you landed.
And then you had a nap. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a nap, and then you woke up from your nap, you had violent diarrhea because your system couldn't handle all the sugar.
I will say, though, that Shock Tart Gum's the only thing that's ever given me lockjaw from it being sour. Just like I couldn't move my mouth.
Yep.
I want to try, though. I think it's called an umabushi plum.
I haven't tried that.
I saw it on Good Mythical Morning. It's apparently like one of the most sour fruits in the entire world. And watching Rhett and Link, like, Rhett takes a bite of it, and he just makes this face where his eyes get kind of wide, and he crinks his neck, and his mouth's just slightly agape, and he's just like, and obviously they got to play it up a little bit for the camera, but literally, I think that he couldn't fucking function for a minute because it was so sour, and I'm like, I would like to try that. Dude,
do you ever get like a really flavorful Granny Smith apple, and it's just super fucking tart, and you're just like, oh, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, man.
You know what?
I love all apples.
As good as those are, have you ever gotten a Granny Smith that was not very tart, and you're just like, fuck this apple. Like, this is an apple. This is a lie.
This tastes like water. Yeah.
This is a fucking lie. You just want to throw it away. So yeah. Now, we were on a topic. We kind of fucking snowballed there. So something awesome fucking happened to me this week. So when I was 16, I worked at a place called Adventure Island. It was a redemption arcade, laser tag, bumper boats, batting cages, mini golf, like family fun center place.
Go-karts,
okay.
Yeah.
We didn't have go-karts. I did fall off the top of the batting cages once, so that was kind of fun. But my fascination of it was arcade. I've always loved an arcade since I was a little kid. And the redemption arcades were always my favorite because I always wanted to win tickets, get prizes, take shit home, spend $100 to win $7 worth of toys. So, what day was it? Thursday. It was Thursday. I officially soft opened my own redemption arcade, and I'm so unreasonably happy about it. Like, it's so fucking cool. Like, I actually own and operate a fucking redemption arcade. That is so fucking cool to be able to say.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's fucking rad.
Like
you own a fucking arcade, bro. Like, that's fucking sweet. Like
fucking skee ball, the basketball game, a coin pusher, an air hockey table, a bunch of claw machines, the fucking Cyclone. Like, everybody knows the Cyclone. It's got 3 stations, got the little light bulbs in it. The light goes around in a circle, and you got to try to hit the button and stop it on the jackpot light. And you always hit it on it, and it jumps back to the 10 ticket light, and you're like, "You son of a bitch, you cheated!" Like, that game has been around for close to 30 years, and my rep for the people who actually supply the machines, I've said it's still one of the biggest money makers on the market. So,
well, that's what's up, dude. That's what's up.
Dude, yeah, I am unreasonably happy about this. I've been ordering prizes to put out and stuff, and it's just so fucking fun.
Well, yeah, man. I hope I get to come visit and sink some money in it one day.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd like that. You're like, hell yeah, come sink some money in this motherfucker.
Everybody come sink some money in it. I need to make some money. I wish I could find when this machine actually was invented. Oh, I found an advertisement for him. That's fucking cool looking. It's a fucking advertisement from M&P Amusement.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know how to Google that. I put in invention date. Came out in 94. No, never mind. That's Cyclone's MS-DOS based video game.
You could like when was the Cyclone arcade game manufactured?
Says Cyclone was produced by ICE in 2009. That's not right though.
I used to see it in the local Aladdin arcade back when that was the thing.
Yeah, we had like when I worked at Adventure Island 20 years ago, we had them. That was like 2002. So
I almost wonder if my love of black lights, neon lights, and bioluminescence came from the vibe of arcades back in the day. Because like you'd walk into Aladdin's castle and it was dark and like all of the lights were super dim and most of the lighting came from the games themselves.
Yep.
And it was super cool, man.
I feel like that's what happened to all of us. Like I think we were all taken in by bowling alleys, arcades, and skating rinks. They all had neon lights, the fucking black carpet with like the funky ass patterns all over it. Which you know why that carpet exists. No. Because it does not show dirt. Those carpets are fucking filthy, but they still don't look that dirty. But that makes sense. I was gonna put that in my place when I moved to the location we're in now. I was gonna put that carpet down. That carpet is like $8 or $10 a square foot.
Damn!
I know it was going to be like $10,000 just to buy the carpet, not including having it put in. And I was like, yeah, nah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's pricey. I wish that I had been to a bowling alley that did the nighttime bowling thing where they do all the black lights and all the pins are neon. Yeah. I always wanted to do that, but
we did that. The local bowling alley where I lived growing up did that. We went a few times. It's pretty cool. I love going bowling. Like, I suck at bowling, but I love going bowling. I love fucking skee ball too. Skee ball is amazing.
Skee ball is fun as fuck. I am also like not great at bowling, but it's a blast.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always that type of person that like I'll grab like a 12-pound ball and I'll roll that and then I'll be like, let me try the 11. I grab the 11, try that, and then it never fails. I'm like, let me try a light ball, and I can never find a light ball that's finger holes are big enough for my fingers.
Yep.
So even when I was like 12 and 13, I was having to roll with like these heavy balls because my fingers were just too big to go in these small little holes.
But you remember being a teenager and you were like, where's the fucking 30-pound bowling ball? I'll use that because you're like, I'm a man, goddammit.
Yeah, your fingers
and then
like, break.
Your fingers are falling, you dislocate your shoulder.
Yeah, dude. I used to like playing with bumpers, but at the same time I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I felt like it was fun, but at the same time, if you were like the kid and all the adults were playing with bumpers with you, you know, you were always like, oh man, well, you don't have to do this just for me. At least that was me.
Yeah, I always was like, I'm almost an adult. I don't want to use bumpers. It's like you're like 11, like, but I want to be cool like the grown-ups.
And then you cry because you lose because you gutter ball every time. Yeah,
yep. you score a 3.
Oh man, so dude, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So I'm part of a few Discords, and I want to get your opinion on this and see if I'm just being an asshole or if they're really being crotchety old men like I think they are. So
probably
I'm in a few. You're probably right. So I'm in a few different Discords, and there's this like running theme with some of the people that I'm friends with that are like older. Yeah. Where like, so say, you know, Epic gives away free games, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I already have Steam and I have GOG. I don't need another launcher. And I don't need another games launcher. You know what I'm saying? There's too many games launchers now. And I'm thinking to myself, is it really that big of a deal? Like, games launchers are like maybe a gigabyte, if that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And specifically Epic, it gives you free games. Whether you play them or not, you have them there. So like one day, say, you're like, oh, I don't have any money for any new games. Oh, I have like 150 games on Epic that I haven't played. Let me go see if maybe there's something in there that I'll like. But like Amazon Prime gives away free games every month, right?
Yeah.
And they used to have it to where like if you had the Twitch app, you could access your games through the Twitch app. Well, they wanted to branch away from that to not clutter the Twitch app, so they made their own little thing. It's Amazon Prime Gaming, and it's a little launcher. And each month, I click the little launcher, and I bring it up and I claim my free games and all is well, right? I just don't understand what the big issue is with installing launchers, because I just have them on my little start bar down here, and it's like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 of them, right? 8, and they're for different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I have itch.io for all of those fucking bundle games I get when I do the donation for charity things.
Oh, yeah.
Origin, like most of the stuff is just games that I've gotten for free, but like it literally pains me not to have them in this little bar down here. And I just don't get it. I don't understand what the fucking issue is.
Every time I hear somebody be like, I don't want to download that, or I don't want to, all I think about is fucking Stewie Griffin going, I don't like change.
I don't like change. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I tell those, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, you can download this for free on Epic. They're like, well, I use Steam. I don't want to really build with Epic. I'm like, okay, go buy it on Steam then. Well, it should be free on Steam. Well, it's not. Well, like, if you want to use Steam so bad, go buy it. If not, go download fucking Epic and download the game for free. I don't really care. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I just don't know. I don't know. And I don't ever say anything. Or I might chime in and be like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like launchers are that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And usually you get something like, well, it's the principle.
It's the principle.
It's
like,
the
well,
principle.
then use your principle to go buy the game on Steam.
Yeah, and what's funny is like there are people like I'll use Nate for an example. Like I think Nate had one, like a not an issue with launchers, but like he was like, "Wow, do I have to have so many of them?" But now it's like, oh well, fuck it, it's not that big of a. He's the same way. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You just click it and you download it, and it's there. And you know, you might not use them because I know he likes his Steam achievements.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't shun the Epic Game Store just because it's another launcher. Or the people that are like, well, that's the Fortnite launcher. It's like, well, dude, there are other. And let me go ahead and clarify. I'm not saying that Nate says that. We're moving on past him. But like, people don't understand. There's more on there than just Fortnite. Yeah. And Fortnite is the fucking reason that they can afford to give away these games for free.
Yep.
They do. Fortnite's pulling in them buku fucking money. Like,
yep. And like, I think I've heard Nate say before, he loves the Steam achievements. I've heard him say like, oh yeah, I went on GOG or on Epic or whatever, and I played the game for like 2 hours and I really liked it, so I just went and bought it on Steam so I could get the achievements. Like, use it to fucking see if you like the game.
Yeah, and now Epic has added in an achievement system, which I think is relatively new, and I think GOG has an achievement system too. So it's like it's coming about the more achievements and stuff. But even still, like, I don't know. To me, I have the 3 major ones. Steam is for my games that I buy that are new. Yeah. GOG is for the older games that I buy. Epic is for free games and Epic exclusives like Kingdom Hearts on PC. And then like I have Origin and Ubisoft and those, but that's because I've gotten free games and I'm just like, okay, it's a launcher. You know, when I bought Red Dead Redemption 2, I bought it from a key site. So instead of getting it on Steam, I got it through the Rockstar launcher. Yeah. And it's like, okay. So I have Max Payne 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 to the Rockstar launcher. And it's like, that bothers me none. Yeah. Like now, one day might I buy Red Dead again on Steam so I can get achievements? Maybe. Yeah. But like, who fucking cares? Yep. But like, I see people who just like, they'll argue about this. And I'm just like, dude, I don't get it. Like, just let people in.
It's like, this is the hill you're prepared to die on. Like, how sad is your life?
Some games launchers. I remember back in the day, I just put a disc in and played the game. Really? Really? Because I highly fucking doubt that it was that easy.
You put a disc in and then your computer crashed. And then you went and looked up what you had to do, and oh, your computer didn't have enough RAM to run that game, so you had to go to fucking Radio Shack and buy upgraded RAM chips, stick it in your computer. And then you couldn't get the game to download, so you had to configure a bunch of drivers and settings. And then you got the game to load, but there was no sound, so you had to go and fucking figure out your Sound Blaster driver update so you could get your sound to work. And then you finally got the game playing, and your computer crashed again. Like, no, it wasn't just putting a disc in and fucking playing.
Yeah, and that doesn't count the times that you have to disable your sound card for it to have enough RAM for the game to even run.
Yep.
With people just like, it's like rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Right. Like my friend. Okay, this is a completely different topic, but it's kind of the same mindset. So hear me out. I'm at my buddy Danny's house, and his girlfriend, wife, whatever they are, was like, I just wish we could go back to the old days. And I was like, oh yeah? Do you? And she's like, yeah, like the 20s and 30s, I just think like it would be better if we could go back to the time like that. And I was like, all right, let's pretend like it's like that. And she goes, okay. And then she went to say something, and I went, Veronica, shut the fuck up. Nobody's talking to you. I was like, women don't speak until they're spoken to.
Yep. Now get in the kitchen and start cooking. And she got this look on her face, and I was like, no, you wanted to go back to the 20s, right? Like, go ahead, say something back to me. Danny's going to slap you for talking back to a man. Yep.
Like, do you really want to go back to the 20s? Because we're hungry. Why don't you go in the kitchen, take your shoes off, go in there, kick them off, barefoot in the kitchen, make me a fucking sandwich.
Yep. Don't use the microwave. Really want to
go back to the 20s?
Don't use the microwave. Get that food out and cook it on the stove.
I didn't hear a word you just said. That was weird.
I said, yeah, it's like, don't use the microwave either. You can't hear me now?
I can't hear you. Oh, no.
Are your headphones working? Technical difficulties.
Weird, man. I can't hear you. What the
fuck? Apparently, Dalton's having technical difficulties. Can you hear me now? Okay. So what I was saying was, she goes to the kitchen. Don't use that microwave. Cook that food on the stove because it's the 20s. We don't have microwaves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah. That's the thing is, I feel like most people who say, I wish we could go back to the good old days are like, basically are just saying, I don't like people of color and I want them to be discriminated against, or I don't like gay people and I don't want them to be allowed to exist.
Yeah. I agree, dude. Man, that is going to fuck me up in editing because I had to unplug and plug back in my my audio interface, which paused my recording. So I was like,
I just made goofy ass music sounds and stuff, so
no, I know, but
it'll be fine. You can just leave it in.
Lining me up with you because mine stopped is going to be a pain in the dick, but I'll figure it out. That's why I was in case you wondered why I sent a time mark to the chat.
Okay,
that is why.
Good.
Oh yeah, I'm not cutting any of this.
Don't cut out my bullshit.
No, I'm just going to have to add silence to my track to make it line back up right.
Fun stuff.
Yay! But yeah, man, I don't know. I just chalk it up to crotchety old men.
Yeah, there's so many people out there just like, I don't like this, so I don't think it should exist. It's like, just don't use it. Like, if you only want to use Steam, don't worry about the free games on Epic. Go fucking buy them on Steam. Stop bitching about other people using the free games on Epic.
Yeah, exactly. And I get it if it's like, because I do see people who are just like, oh, just the multiple launcher thing's not for me, and that is different than the people that I see that are like, well, it's fucking stupid. Like, you shouldn't have the fucking blah, 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 blah. Like that's way. Quit being petty. Quit being Tom Petty.
Yeah, it's like I only like Ford pickup trucks, so I don't think there should be any other car manufacturers. There should just be Ford pickup trucks. There shouldn't be so many options out there. Just everybody just drive a Ford pickup truck. It's like, you shut the fuck up.
Everybody should wear the same thing. Everybody should worship the same God. We should all be an amalgamation of gray.
Yeah. Everyone should have the same 4-inch dick that I have. It's not fair that there's people out there with big dicks. It makes it harder for guys like me with little dicks.
All of a sudden, we're Richard Nixon.
I am not a crook.
I am not a crook. So let's hear your story, sir.
Yes, I told you a little bit about it earlier. Funny little thing that happened to me yesterday.
I'm going to spark this for this one.
So I'm going to preface this with a little backstory so everybody understands what's going on. I have a friend named Christina. Love her to death. She's one of my favorite people. We're both Formula One fans. Yesterday was qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So I messaged Christina and said, hey, are you watching quali? Let me find my text. I want to make sure I tell everybody what happens. I don't want to get the story wrong.
I want everybody to remember Jeremy's misogyny from last week before he tells this story. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Remember, I'm an asshole. I hate women. Not really. I love women. I'm sorry I was a dick last week. It was late. Things got weird. So I send Christina a text. I say, hey, are you watching quali? She said, no. I'm at Priya's watching Harry Potter preparing for a trivia night. Her friend Priya, very, very just absolutely beautiful Indian lady that Christina is friends with. So I say, oh my God, you have to watch it, LOL. Because, spoiler alert for anybody who didn't watch, George Russell got his first pole position, which is starting the race in first place. George Russell drives for Mercedes, which is Christina's favorite team. So then I say, tell Priya I said she's gorgeous, haha, because I think she's gorgeous. I wanted Christina to tell her. I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was like, hey, shoot this shot, brother. So Christina says, I will later tonight, talking about watching Quali. So I was like, it's big, haha, because I didn't want to spoil it for her, but I wanted her to know she definitely needs to watch it so we can talk about it. Apparently, she told Priya that I said she was gorgeous. Priya didn't believe it. Christina was like, okay, whatever. Christina got up to go to the bathroom and Priya took her phone and looked at it. So Priya saw the messages saying from me, tell Priya I said she's gorgeous. Christina saying, I will later tonight. And then I said, it's big, haha. She took that, she interpreted that as me saying my dick was big. Anyone who knows me knows I am not one to brag about my penis. It's an average penis. It gets the job done. There's nothing to write home about. But I'm not the type of guy, regardless of that would brag about it. But she took it as that, decided to text me on Christina's phone and say, hey dude, this is Priya. I feel like there are better ways to reel me in. Try again. Christina apparently comes back from the bathroom as this is happening, is mortified that this happened, explains to Priya that I was talking about the race, not about my junk. She messages me and says she interpreted that incorrectly. She thought you were talking about your member, not Formula One. I don't respond. Apparently, at this point in time, I'm at the store. It's busy. Like, I've got a bunch of customers in. Apparently, I left my phone, like, with her message window pulled up because she told me later that it showed I had read her message but didn't respond to her. So then she sends me a message back and was like, I'm sorry, Priya stole my phone when I went to the bathroom 3 hours later. I didn't realize that because I was super busy at the store. So she saw that I read her message, and 3 hours later I hadn't responded. And she told me, she's like, I told Priya, like, oh, thanks a lot. He's not talking to me now. Like, Priya apparently felt bad about it. Like, the whole thing was just a misunderstanding. Christina cleared it up. Everything got, like, sorted. But I hadn't responded to her in 3 hours. She thought I was mad at him. So I'm like, I message her, like, literally exactly 3 hours to the minute after Priya messaged me. And I was like, I'm lost. What just happened? LOL. Because I was like, I just read those messages in order, and I was like, well, like, what's going on? I don't understand what just happened. And she's like, oh, Priya didn't believe you said she was gorgeous, and I showed her, and when I went to the restroom, she misinterpreted the, quote, it's big message and wrote a new one. And I was like, LOL, that was 1,000% not about my junk, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I was like, tell her I'm sorry that she interpreted it that way, because even though I didn't say that, I feel first impressions are important. I don't want that to be her first impression of me, that I'm a misogynistic dude that's telling her that I got a big dick, and I haven't actually met her or talked to her in person. Like, so, you know, it all kind of just blowed over, and Christina and I are still very much friends. So she's probably listening to this right now, either laughing or very embarrassed about it, one of the two. I did get her permission to tell this story, though. But I just thought it was kind of funny. Like, I somehow put my foot in my mouth without even fucking putting my foot in my mouth.
Gotta love it, bro.
And yeah, dude, I'm like a master. I'm like a fucking black belt at putting my foot in my mouth when it comes to fucking talking to girls in a dating fashion. Fucking, I'm like a goddamn ninja at that shit. I'm so fucking good at it. So it's funny that it happens even when it's not. I didn't even fucking do it, and I still did it. So yeah, I just have to laugh about it at this point.
I know how you feel, though. Like, although mine are like, my situations like that are like the one I told you where I went to go give my friend a kiss on the forehead, and she thought I was leaning in for a kiss, and she flipped the fuck out, and then wouldn't believe me when I was trying to explain her. No. I was going to give you a kiss on the forehead and be like, don't worry, everything will be all right. Like,
yeah.
Who fucking goes to kiss somebody when they're sad? Like, why would I think that would cheer you up if I was just going to be like, let me plant one on your lips? I was just going to give you a kiss on the forehead and a hug, and like, reassuring friend thing, which I've done to my dude friends. You know what I mean? Give them a kiss on the head, pull them in, and be like, "It's gonna be all right, dude." Like, there was nothing sexual about it. It just, she flipped the fuck out, and I was like, "Oh," but most of my situations end up where like me and a girl start talking, and I think things are going well, so I'll start being more open. And I am a weird dude, like, and I don't mean weird like, you know, I want to smell your farts. Like, I'm not like that, but like, you know, I stay up late at night. I watch anime. I'm a video gamer. Like, I cook and I bake. Like, I'm not your run of the mill dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your, he's a lumberjack and he's okay. Even though if the girl got that reference, you know, she'd be in with me. But, my whole thing is just like, I'm just an odd guy. I'm not normal. And a lot of times when that starts coming out, the girls are like, "Oh, okay." Like,
So I have more misogynistic shit to say. Kinda. I have learned as an adult male in my 30s, you have to be very careful emotionally opening up to women, because when you start being vulnerable, sometimes, not all women, some women lose respect for you. Like, when you start opening up about emotional issues and stuff, I've learned that some women kind of lose interest in you a little bit. So, like, and like I said, that's not all women, so don't fucking crucify me.
Don't add them.
I know there are fucking good women out there that aren't like that. I know plenty of them myself. And I'm the type of dude now, like, dude, me and Jen got in fights about it, because if somebody asks me how I'm doing and I'm fucking depressed, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you know, my fucking depression's kicking my ass right now." Like, I'm fucking open about my shit now, because if that shit is not okay with you, I don't want to be friends with you. Yeah. Like, I don't want somebody who only wants me around when I'm the life of the party. It's like, I have fucking bad days too. Like, yesterday I had a pretty bad, like, mental health day. Not exactly sure why, but I will say, like, with my new medication and shit, I was able to process it a lot better. I was able to just like, all right, I'm going to bed. I'll wake up better tomorrow. And then this morning I woke up and I was like, "Oh yeah, fucking great. I'm good." So I'm better able to cope with it. But like, it was just a down day yesterday. I went out after work to a friend of mine is getting married in a few weeks. Her and her fiance had like a joint bachelorette party at a driving range. So I went and hung out for like an hour and a half, and I didn't really want to. And I was kind of a buzzkill while I was there. But like, I was like, I'm going to go. I promised them I would come. I'm going to show my face for a little while. And like, I talked, you know, I tried to be as social as I could. I really wasn't feeling very social, but fucking did it anyways, because it was the right thing to do. And then I came home, you know, I watched a little TV, went to bed. Speaking of, I have a TV recommendation for you too. But yeah, like, I don't want people in my life that only want me around when I'm fun to be around, because I'm going to have bad days too, like everybody does. And all my friends, I'm like, "Hey, you're having a bad day, fucking hit me up." Like, be like, "Hey, you got a minute to talk?" Like, I always have a minute to talk if you need to talk to me. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm the same. I would rather listen to your trouble than listen to your eulogy. Like, it's, yeah, definitely. If you're having your issues, hit me up. I will fucking talk to you about it. Dalton's the same way. Dalton has been there for me when I've like needed somebody to just fucking get shit off my chest to.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, if you're dealing with shit, reach out to Yabs Paw. We got you.
Absolutely. Send us an email. We'll try to help you out.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, though, on the conversation of like guarding your emotions and things like that, I got to tell you about this, what happened to me one time. So, one of the times that I was swiping right on Tinder, and I actually got a match on somebody, and I'm not one of those people who just swipe right. Like, I actually like look at their profile, because like, I don't want to match for the Trumper. Sorry.
Well, like, yeah, I don't want to match with somebody I'm not compatible with. I don't want to match with somebody I'm not necessarily attracted to. Like, because I'm the type of guy on a dating app, if a girl sends me a message, whether I'm into her or not, I feel like it's extremely rude to ignore that message. So I will always message them back and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. And then, like, if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, I know as a guy, like how many messages I've sent out that probably hundreds have just been ignored. And I get it. Like, women get hundreds and hundreds of messages from weird fucking dudes on dating apps. So
yeah,
I understand it. It is what it is. But yeah, if somebody takes the time to reach out to me, I'm not going to be like, nah, I'm not into you. Unless, like you said, if their profile is just like, if you hate Trump, you're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. I hate abortions, blah, blah. Like, I'm probably just not, I'm just going to block that person and just not talk to him at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, other than that, yeah, I try to respond back because you get a fucking friend out of it. And dude, like, there's some great friends I have that, you know, just come from stuff like that. Like, may not be compatible relationship wise, but hey, it's great to have somebody to fucking talk to sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never just slam the door shut on stuff like that.
Well, so I had swiped right on this chick and we matched. So I messaged her and we started talking. It turned out that like she didn't live that far from me. And she had a kid, which is fine. You know, that's no big deal. I'm at the age where I've accepted I'm going to be single or I'm going to be a stepdad, more than likely. Yeah. Unless I can get Courtney down here, then we're good to go. Yeah. But so this chick and me were talking for a while, and she adds me on Snapchat, and we're like chatting back and forth on Snapchat, and then we started talking about like hanging out, and I was going to cook for her and stuff like that, and she was like, oh yeah, I'd really like to do that. Well, we never really did it, right? And we were talking, and then she tells me that she has an OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm interested. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, send me the link, I'll check it out, whatever. So she sends me the link, and I went and I subscribed for the month or whatever. It was like $6. I wasn't anything like major.
Yeah.
And we started talking, and it started getting less frequent. And then she started dating some like short, skinny little fucker. I mean, like she's a bigger girl. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead, like, sidebar. You ever notice? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? You ever notice that like you'll see like a very rotund woman, and this is no offense to them. Like, I think all women are beautiful creatures, but like you'll see like a rotund woman, and it'll be like a beanstalk of a little dude that's with them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then again, I guess like me, for instance, like I've dated a lot of chicks who are like small chicks. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess there's just like a thing with that. But
with opposites attract.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that I got played like to become an OnlyFans sub.
Probably so.
That's how I felt about the whole thing.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And I was like, man, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
But you got to see some titties, so
I did. And
it only cost you $6.
I would have liked my $6 back.
Okay.
It was all right. You know what I'm saying? It was all right.
Are you saying she had Google level titties?
Yeah. Like, you could just Google them. You could find better on Google.
God, we're gonna have to change this to yet another misogynistic podcast.
No, because I'll tell you about like dicks that I've seen where I'm like, man, that guy's got a funny looking dick. Like plenty. There's plenty, dude. In fact, I'll tell you a story. The night that the shit went down, I might have told you a story. I don't know if I told it, where the alcohol and the booze and all the dudes started having sex in the room. And okay. So
that was a podcast story.
Okay, been there. Don't want to touch on that again. You all know what happened. It was traumatizing. Yada yada. But one of the guys there was like 6'4", 6'5". His name was we'll call him Lance. He fucking pulls his pants down, and he had one of the tiniest dicks I'd ever seen in my entire life. And he was like, yeah, I'm a big dude, but God's joke was to make me huge, make my dick little. And I was like, word. I'm on the computer just like, this is fucking, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like trying to ignore it.
Why is your dick out, dude?
Yeah, but that's what sticks in my head was that. And like, I was just like, wow, bro, because I'm talking like fucking, I don't know, pinky? No, I'll give him a credit. Like thumb. A small thumb. I don't know. It was wild. And I'm like, why are you naked? Let's
now was this a thumb-sized erect dick or just a hanging dick?
No. I think it was erect because like it was like the first knuckle of your thumb soft. like a little helmet in a bush.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
So you got a small dick. You at least got to shave the bush and make it look a little bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
What you do when you're measuring is you stick that fucking metal part of the tape measure, you stick that in your asshole, and then you go from there. Yeah. And you get a good 3-4 extra inches on there.
Stick it in your butthole and flex, it'll hold it in place.
Yeah, you just fucking do a little Kegel exercise, just squeeze it in.
Oh my god.
According to this, I've got a 37-inch dick. Wow. The tape measure is stuck against the light switch on the wall behind you.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, dude, so I feel you on the whole getting your words taken out of context. It's happened to me. Yeah. It's happened to me many a time. Many a time. I can't tell you.
But
go ahead.
I will say, I can appreciate where she was coming from, because I told Christina, I was like, she's a good looking girl. I'm sure she's had a ton of sleazy ass dudes try to hit on her by talking about fucking her or how big their dicks are or what some other kind of creepy shit you should never say to a woman on a first meeting. So I get that. And I know Christina's listening to this. I don't know if Priya listens to it. I don't think so. But if you are listening to it, hit me up. Christina's got my number. Maybe I could take you to get a coffee or something. I promise not to talk about my dick while we're out there.
God damn,
Dalton's dead again.
I was expecting to hear an apology or something, and you're just oh yeah, if you're listening, sup?
I apologized a few times.
No, I know. It's just funny as fuck. Oh.
Now, let me make it up to you by taking you out for a coffee or something. We'll go get an orange juice and a sugar cookie at Starbucks.
I'd like to treat you to a Faygo and a slice of pizza.
Could I interest you in a fish sandwich?
I am not a gay fish. Let me tell you a story about a time that my words got misconstrued on accident. First of all, I have this thing where I'll message my dude friends randomly, my female friends randomly, and I'll be like, "Hey, I hope you have a great day today." Right? I got a text one day, I messaged a friend of mine and I told her, "Hey, make today rock. I know things have been rough lately, but shine that smile bright, things will get better." Right? Yep. And I got a message back, "The fuck you telling my girl to smile for?" And my response was, because she's been my friend forever and I know she's been sad and I want her to cheer up. And maybe because you're a dick and message me things like this, who the fuck is this? You know who this is? No, I actually don't know who this is. This is Ducky. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're the local drunk dude who rides around on his 4-wheeler and crashes it, and people record you and put you on Facebook. What's up? And he is just well, you don't need to be talking to my fucking girl. And I'm like, bro, I've been talking to her since before she was your quote unquote fucking girl. Maybe you should treat her with some respect and call her by her name. And I won't give her a name on the podcast, but, and he was like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And I said, "I am someone who is about to block you and her if you don't shut the fuck up." And he was like, "Oh, well, go ahead, fucking do it, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "All right, well, you can handle her being mad at you for this." And I blocked her account and I went and blocked him. And, she ended up hitting me up on Snapchat later, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry." And I'm like, "Dude, don't even worry about it. Just hit me up when you decide to leave that dumb shit and we can still be friends." Yeah. But the one that I thought might actually have caused me issues, but it ended up being all right because it was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I had this number in my phone from my buddy Danny. Did not realize Danny had gotten a new phone. Well, Danny is usually up late at night, so I texted this number. "Hey, I hope all is well. I miss you. Hope we can get together soon."
Yeah.
And the next day, I went to sleep at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? I wake up with a voicemail from that phone from Danny. Or no, I'm sorry, from a different number. And a bunch of text messages from Danny and then this other number. So I'm reading these text messages and they were like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then the other number is like, "Why are you texting my wife in the middle of the night?" Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck? I listened to this voicemail, and it's this dude. He's just like on his way to work, apparently, calling me and being like, hey, I don't know who the fuck you are, but, I saw where you texted my wife while, we were asleep in bed, and I don't know who the fuck you are, but she says she don't know who the fuck you are, you know what I mean? And if there's something going on here, then I need to fucking know about it, so I need you to get back to me ASAP. You fucking understand me? And I was just like, what the fuck? So I messaged Danny on Facebook. I was like, is this your number? And he goes, oh no, man, I got a new phone. And I just wrote him back, you son of a bitch. So I texted that number that freaked. I wasn't going to call him. Like, no, because I don't sound Southern unless I say y'all, right? Like normal. So he's going to be like, oh, who the fuck's this Yankee texting my fucking wife? So anyway, I was just like, I texted him back and I was like, hey man, I don't know who your wife is. I said, it was in my phone as Danny because that used to be the number of one of my best friends named Danny. I was like, this is just a misunderstanding. And he writes back and he's like, you sure you ain't fucking lying to me or something along those lines. And I wrote him back. I said, brother, I said, you could put your wife in front of me in a lineup of women and I couldn't fucking pick her out if you had a gun to my head. I was like, you could put 2 women in front of me and I wouldn't know which one's your fucking wife. All is well. And he writes back and he's like, all right, man, well, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. And I was like, yeah, me too. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your lives or whatever the fuck. And I was like, wow. Bro, I don't understand people like that. Like, in a sense, like, okay, maybe they have had issues before, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was like a trigger or something. But as soon as it's like, oh man, wrong number, like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been the jealous type. I don't know. That's just.
No, I'm the type and I bet, who's that? And if my wife was like, I don't know, I'd be like, oh, well, be like, text them and be like, who is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not gonna blow your phone up and then call you and be like, listen here, motherfucker, why are you texting my wife in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not that guy.
I'll tell you one time, and this was just random as fuck. Just talking about things that just randomly get sent to you in the middle of the night. I got a Cash App for $50 and it just said, nice, for the TV. And I was like, what? And I declined it because I'm just like, for what TV? I haven't sold anyone a TV. Obviously they sent this to the wrong person. Yeah. But who the fuck has a similar email to mine? Like, mine is a very specific email. Like, what the fuck is...
It'd be funny, you get that Cash App, then you wake up the next morning and, like, your front door is wide open and the TV's missing and just some fucking dude robbed you and then felt bad about it.
I don't know why that made me...
He's like, hey, dude, I had to steal your TV and sell it for crack, but I bought a lottery ticket. I won $150, so here, I'm sending you 50 of it. I feel bad.
For some reason, that made me think of that Dane Cook joke where he's like, the weird guy at the office, man, I always bring him a Snickers. He goes, because I know the day that he comes in and he goes postal, he starts killing everybody. He's going to kick my fucking office door open, and then he's going to look at me and be like, hey, man, thanks for the candy bars. And he's going to leave. He's going to go kill everybody else. He's going to let me fucking go. Always be nice to those people. So this next one you have, and after we do our songs of the week, before we get to the community questions, I went down a little list rabbit hole so that we're gonna go through that. But sir, I hate to admit this, and I might know him if you explain to me. I do not recognize this name, so I'm gonna let you read this off.
So in sad news, hold on, Bill Russell died today. Yes, today. He was a basketball player back in the 70s and 80s, I think. He's considered one of the greatest of all time. He had he was an 11-time NBA champion. He played with the Boston Celtics. Like, he's in the argument for like the greatest basketball player of all time. Great guy. He was 88, so he actually played, let's see. He played in the 50s. He started with the Celtics in 56. And yeah, he, like I said, he died today. He's 88. He lived a very, very good life. So, but just want to give a shout out to him, you know.
Rest in power, as they say, my good sir.
Yes.
And you know, there's a few things. Like, okay, so that happened today. Also today was, like we said at the beginning, George Jetson's birthday, but also today was Ric Flair's last match. Who would have thought that Ric Flair would have his last match on the day that George Jetson is born?
Yeah. Like, maybe George Jetson's mom was in the crowd at Ric Flair's last match and went into labor because of how exciting the match was.
My God, the Nature Boy still got it at age whatever the fuck, at 170.
Yeah. Yeah, the Nature Boy putting women into labor.
Kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, baby making, son of a gun.
So who did he fight?
It was him and his son-in-law, not Conrad, the guy from the podcast, but the other one, which is Andrade, Charlotte's husband. So it was him and Andrade versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal in a tag match. And I'm like, fucking Jeff Jarrett. Dude, people have their opinions on Jeff Jarrett, and I did until I started listening to his podcast, and he's a good fucking dude, and he's smart. He's got good wrestling knowledge.
I was entertained by him wrestling because he had the guitar. Like he was the one smacking people with the fucking acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was cool to me.
Yeah, and see, that was after the stuff that I think made people like our buddy Willie just be like, fuck Jeff Jarrett. The stuff in the beginning when he came in and he was like, ha ha, that's right, double J, Jeff Jarrett, that's J-E, double F, J-A, double R-E, double T, ha ha, don't you forget it. Like, yeah, I could see how that would rub you. You're like, the wrong way. But like, he was, I don't know. It's interesting to listen to him talk business about like booking and stuff though, because his dad was a booker, so he grew up around it, so you get a lot of knowledge and stuff like that. It's
Speaking of weird wrestlers, do you remember Val Venus?
Hello, ladies. Yeah, of course
I remember like an interview with him in a wrestling magazine, and it was like they'd always have like a splash page of like a picture of the wrestler and like a bunch of little like bubbles of like questions. And I remember one was like, what's a hidden talent you have or something? And he was like, I can hold a dozen donuts with no hands. And it's like, of course it was a fucking insinuation that he could fucking put 12 donuts on his dick. But my first thought was like, Krispy Kreme is really big here in North Carolina. Like, Krispy Kreme donut holes are like about nickel sized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he has like a fucking, what do you got? What's the sword they use in fucking fencing?
Oh, like a rapier type, almost.
Like, yeah, he's got like a rapier dick. Like, he's got this fucking really, really long, skinny dick. He's got fucking like E.T.'s finger just sticking out of the crotch area of his pants.
Jesus Christ. Dude, I remember Val Venus getting into he was in a storyline with Kai and Tai, Takamishinoku and Funaki, and they were going to, quote unquote, choppy pee-pee.
I feel like I remember that.
So they were going to cut Val Venus's dick off, and that was the whole storyline. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What was the dude's name? The heavy-set black dude that
Viscera.
had the fucking Viscera with the blonde hair and the contacts.
I knew immediately. You're like, big black. I'm like, Viscera,
yeah. It's Viscera or Mark Henry, though. Those are the two options.
Yeah.
Dude, Mark Henry's still fucking entertaining people, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's on...
dude...
He's on Busted Open Radio.
That dude is fucking strong, too, man. I've watched some clips of his, like, World's Strongest Man shit. Like, that dude is no joke.
Yeah, when he was wrestling, people were saying, oh, he's probably not the world's strongest man anymore, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And he got fucking pissed about that. And he went to Vince McMahon, and he's like, let me go prove this. And Vince McMahon was like, all right, but you better wait, God damn it.
Yeah.
And Mark went and fucking won. Like, he went and proved again that he's the world's strongest man. Like, that motherfucker, God, I can't imagine how strong he is. You imagine him getting mad at you and punching you, just cave your skull in?
Dude, I remember I'm a Spurs fan, and he's from Texas. So, like, I was watching a random Spurs game one time, right? And he fucking comes out at halftime, I think. It was either at the start of the game or halftime. He comes out on the court and, like, I think he did, like, some fucking deadlifts or something and, like, body slammed the fucking Spurs mascot and shit. Like, oh, dude, it was fucking great.
I've seen two things that really impressed me with him on a basketball court. I've seen him pop a basketball, just squeezing it, boom,
Nice.
and pop it. But I wish I could find a clip of him doing it. But I've heard stories from wrestlers where they were like playing basketball, and Mark Henry would dunk on people. Like that big motherfucker
Nice.
would jump and dunk on people, and I'm like, dude, I want to see him dunk a fucking. He
Yeah.
might not be able to do it at this age, but I want to see young
No.
Mark Henry fucking jump and just Jordan a fucking boom, slam a ball.
Oh yeah.
That would be wicked. You know, it was funny the other day. I don't remember what we were talking about, but Nate made a comment in our little group chat that we have that he was like, you say that Yabs Pod isn't a video game podcast. And I was like, it's not. I was like, it's an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometime. Oh, wait a minute. And it was a joke because the tagline for Tadpog, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games, shout out Tadpog, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games, is it's an explicit podcast where they just happen to talk about video games sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, it's a good fucking tagline. Obviously, we're not going to steal their tagline, but it's just in the moment of that joke, it made sense, and the people who listen to us and who also listen to Tadpog will appreciate that. So, sir, it's your song of the week.
You do yours first because I forgot to pick one. So I'm kind of looking at Spotify real quick.
Alrighty then. So mine is by a band called Catatonia. I don't remember when I first discovered them. I think I was just clicking through looking for bands kind of like Opeth, Cybreed, like that kind of style, and I found Catatonia. And the song is called The Longest Year. Really pretty guitar in the opening. The singer, I love his voice, and they are like if you took a band that used really heavy, like 7-string guitars and just like heavy riffs, and then kind of meshed them with a little bit of Tool, but with clean vocals, you know what I mean? Like there's a song they have called Leaders where he lets out a long like but like it's only the two parts of the song, and he's not like growling the whole time he's singing, and he just lets out this one type thing. But his voice is really pretty. The guitar is heavy but melodic, and it's just so well put together. So I recommend anything by them, but specifically this week, Catatonia, The Longest Year.
Nice. So I did pick one. I forgot about it because I didn't write it down, and I'm at that age where if I don't write shit down, I forget about it. It is The Run and Go by 21 Pilots. So I discovered 21 Pilots like when I was pretty deep in a depression, and like they're fucking depressed people music, or they used to be. This was like from the Vessels album, which was one of their earlier albums, and like so this song basically is like the chorus always gets, because it's like, you're gonna have to watch me suffer from several rooms away, but tonight I want you to stay. And I don't know, it's just a song that's always kind of stuck with me whenever I heard it. So that's my pick for this week. I know you gave me a funny look when I said 21 Pilots.
I'm going to reserve my judgment, sir. Not on you. I just, because of your the way, I'm not going to say anything. So that's your song. So.
Yeah. Like I said, I like sad music. I talked about this with my friend Ostara the other day. We were talking about that. It's like when you suffer with depression for so long, it kind of like becomes your soundtrack almost.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you don't really want to be happy. Sometimes you just want to be like comfortable in that sadness. And like I was telling, I think I was talking to her or another of my friends yesterday about like my bad like mental health day. And I was like, it's oddly comfortable because it's like, it's what I've known for so long that it's like, I hate to say it that way, but it's like the sound of silence. Right. It's like, hello darkness, my old friend.
Oh no, I know like, exactly what you mean, brother.
Yeah.
Believe me.
So
this,
but yeah, like 21 Pilots, I will not say there's like the best band in the world by any stretch of the imagination. I don't like a lot of their newer music. But like that one particular album I really liked, and like I listened to that album this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, this song always kind of just stuck with me, where it's like I wanted somebody there with me, but I didn't want their help. I just wanted them to be there.
I always try to at least find one song that I like by a band, right? Yeah. And if I can't do that, then I just chalk them up, and I do like the song Heathens by them. Like,
yeah, that one was really good. That's on the Suicide Squad soundtrack.
Yeah.
If it's the song I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's exactly
that. But it doesn't even sound like them. Like it's so
exactly
It's a fucking good ass song.
There's a version of it. So on my arm, I have Typo Negative tattooed, right?
Yeah.
So that's my depression band. I'm gonna send you some of their songs when we're done. The first song that really got me by them when I was in a dark place, like you're talking about, the song "Everyone I Love Is Dead," right? Sets the perfect mood, right? But you'll see what I mean though. It's like it's really good. And anyways, there's a guy on YouTube. I can't remember his name. It's Anthony Vincent. I think he does the 10-second songs where he would do the different styles.
Yeah.
So he did 20 different styles or Heathen in 20 different styles, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because he had done one previously of Dark Horse by Katy Perry. And the last thing he ended the song with was Typo Negative style. And people thought that sounded so good and bombarded his comments that he did an entire version in Typo Negative style. And the same thing happened with Heathens. Like, so there's a version of him doing Heathens in the Typo Negative style, and it's so fucking good, Jeremy.
Nice.
I'm like, God, I wish Peter Steele wouldn't have died, the singer. Get this. Motherfucker was like doing cocaine for the longest time. They would do shows. He would drink four bottles of wine before a show, 4 during the show, and then however many after the show, right? So, Jesus. But also keep in mind, this motherfucker was 6'8". Like,
yeah,
he was a big, and he has a deep voice. Like when he talked, it was like, "Hello, my name is Peter Steele. Nice to meet you. I'm from Brooklyn."
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, but got sober, and 2 years later dropped dead. I was like, man, and we were supposed to go see him live. We were going to drive to Atlanta, but then my buddy Paul started fucking my ex-girlfriend, and he was mad at me about something that had to do with her, and I'm like, well, why? You're the one dating her. I'm not. What the fuck? So we ended up not going, and then he died, so I still hold that against Paul. So Paul, if you're listening, you bastard, I still hold that against you, but I still love you. But yeah, anyway, 21 Pilots, they're just not my thing. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I respect them because they're
an acquired taste.
Hey, they got famous for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what I always try to tell myself. It's like the shit on the radio that I hear that I'm like, why the fuck is this on the radio? It's on there for a reason. It's just not a reason for me. That's all.
But I want to say the single from that Vessels album was the car radio song. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days.
No,
that one? Oh.
Not that one. No. This is the one where he's talking about somebody stole the radio out of his car and now he has to drive around in silence and listen to all the demons in his head.
Oh, no, I've never heard that. They got fucking dark, didn't they?
No, that album's dark as fuck. I think that's why I like it so much. I have to send you a couple of songs from it and let you check them out. Yeah. Like that album, I listened to that album a lot, and then the next album came out, and I was like, "Oh, cool! They have a new album." And I started listening, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This ain't the fucking music I was listening to on the last album." So, like, yeah, it's just that one particular album I really like, and then the fucking Suicide Squad, the whole fucking soundtrack is just fucking amazing. Like, if you haven't listened to that soundtrack, go look up was it Peter Ayers that did the Suicide Squad movie with Harley Quinn, with Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Look up that soundtrack and listen to it, listeners.
I feel like
it's fucking great.
10 years from now, that movie's going to be viewed like Queen of the Damned is now, where it's the movie is what it is, but the soundtrack is so fun. Now, I love that movie, but people have their opinions that that's not a really good movie. Yeah, but the soundtrack, fire. Absolute fire from beginning to end. So it's like, yeah, it's just sometimes that happens.
we might have to do that one week of like the best movie soundtracks, like Spider-Man 2, Queen of the Damned, Suicides. Like, there's some movies out there with some fucking killer soundtracks.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do like our favorite soundtracks from, like movies, games, and stuff like that. It'd be fun. So anyway, We're light on questions this week because our question master is on vacation. Enjoy your cruise, good sir.
Come back.
And then, in fact, real quick, actually, let me double check and make sure there weren't any last minute questions. No, okay. Just wanted to double check. Don't want to leave anybody out. But so I was going through some lists and I ended up falling down a little rabbit hole. So I'll use my thoughts that brought me to these, and we can discuss them. So the first one, I was watching a video about cryptozoology.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about like how you and I would like to hear from listeners too, how would you react like if you ran into one of these types of things? So some of these you may know, some of these you may not know. There's descriptions, so I'll give the description.
So I want to put a preface out there for this before we start.
Okay.
I'm the type of guy who thinks I could probably take a small bear. Like, if I was angry enough and the bear was, like, trying to attack my family, I feel like I could win. Not like a fucking full-size bear, but, like, not a cub. Like, just kind of a smaller bear.
I just immediately pictured you running over to it like Brock Lesnar and grabbing it and just giving it a German suplex.
Yeah, just fucking grabbing it, turn it around and fuck it like in Super Troopers. Like, I'm the fucking king bear, bitch.
Oh my God, that scene, I forgot about
this
that.
This is my woods.
Is he fucking a bear? Yeah.
Attention, bear fucker. Do you need assistance?
They don't know what to call it. Bear fucker.
Bear fucker. Do you need assistance? No, like, I remember talking to Jen about it on the back porch one day. I was like, what would you do if we were sitting out here and a fucking bear just walked? Because, like, there's woods all around our house. Like, it's probably not going to happen, but it's possible. And she's like, I don't know. I was like, if I was out here with you, like, to protect you and Jonathan, I would at least try to fight it. I was like, I don't know if I'd win, but I'm going to, like, kick it in its bear balls and shit. Like, I'm going to fight dirty. Like, so, and I'm going to fucking try to choke. Like, I'm going to get on its back and try to, like, fucking get my arm around its neck and, like, wrap my legs around it and fucking try to choke it out. Like, tap, you fucking bear, tap.
Motherfucker. You just get it and the bear starts tapping his paw, so you just instinctively let go. And he's like, got you, bitch.
Like, he chews my fucking throat out.
Some fucking tree comes to life and hands you a belt, raises your hand.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the
fucking Int Moot brings the fucking woods, the fucking belt made out of like bark and pine cones and shit. Like, I'm the fucking king of the forest, bitch. And I hear just like a fucking like mountain lion off in the out. Like, oh shit, I'm going inside.
Fucking chimp jumps out of the tree, hits you with an RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah, one of those fucking Florida monkeys gets me.
Yeah.
Like, this is a 24/7, bitch. There ain't no fucking breaks in the full fucking wood championships.
Oh my goodness. I have in my backyard, like one day I'm out there with my mom and I'm playing catch with the dog, and like behind the fence, I saw this quick flash of like mange, right? Yeah. And I was like, what was that? What the fuck was that? I said, that looked like a coyote or something, or like a mangy dog. Like, that was really weird looking. And my mom's like, what? And I said, yeah, it just ran by the fence. And then we went to go get some papers and, for rolling a joint or whatever. And we're going up there, and my neighbor is out front in her front yard looking disheveled. So like we stopped and rolled my window down, and this is the neighbor that I told the story about the one time. Yeah, that neighbor. And she had her titties in a shirt this time, and I was like, everything all right? And she goes, a coyote just took one of my chickens. And I was like, I looked at my mom and I went, son of a bitch, that was a coyote. So yeah, that motherfucker ended up taking like 2 of her chickens before it ended up fucking off.
Nice.
But yeah, it was wild.
I mean,
I've seen that.
That's fucking coyotes doing coyote shit.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I could definitely take a coyote. Like, I think I could, one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat, I think I could fucking take him.
Yeah.
Like, might bite the shit out of me and give me rabies or some shit, but I think I'd kill him before he killed me.
He might give me rabies and that'll kill me, but I'll be alright. I'll kill him.
I'll just get the fucking shots in the stomach and I'll be fine.
If you don't bleed out on the way to get help.
True.
Depending on where he bites you.
Well, I'm saying he'll die first. I may die second, but I'm still technically the winner of the fight.
Just like your last breath. I win, bitch.
I win.
Yeah, I've seen the fucking coyote. I've seen the alligator in my backyard. I've had the gator surface in front of me while I was swimming in the lake. And then like there's a time me and my friend Dustin were just driving down this road that there's just a bunch of farms and fields on the side. And I just like look over there in the field, and there's just a big ass fucking black bear just running through the field. One of the most majestic things I've ever seen, because it was just an open field with trees in the back. There was nothing. There was no animals. It wasn't chasing anything. it was just frolicking through this fucking field. And I'm like, look at that. And unfortunately, the way this road is like, it's the road and then like a 6-foot ditch on either side. So it's not like we could pull over and watch it. So we just kind of slowed down and we're cruising, just watching this bear run. And we were like, that's so fucking cool. I am so glad we don't live around here though. Like we live like 15, 20 minutes that way driving. So it taken a while.
Now, on my drive home today, I saw a groundhog on the side of the highway. Now, I will bet you any amount of money I could take the most aggressive groundhog you could throw at me. I can definitely beat a groundhog.
I'll give you that. But could you beat some of these cryptids, good sir? So,
all right, let's hear it.
The first one, the Mongolian death worm. Okay.
I don't think I'd want to touch it because it's a worm.
Hey, you know what? And that is a good instinct, sir, because also known as the old guy Korkhoi, probably fuck that all up, which translates to something like the large intestine worm. This giant red poison-spitting creature lives in the sands of the Gobi Desert, according to legend. Based on a description taken down by Roy Chapman Andrews, the explorer who may have indirectly inspired Indiana Jones, he took this from a shaman in a village that described... The Mongolian prime minister described the beast as shaped like a sausage about 2 feet long, has no head nor legs, and is so poisonous that merely to touch it means instant death.
Didn't Sandy fight one of those on SpongeBob one time?
That's the first thing I thought of, too, was that big-ass fucking worm from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But apparently...
That's not the worm. That's his tongue.
You don't even need to touch it. According to legend, this thing can just kill you by spitting its toxic, corrosive venom on you.
Jesus.
Or it can hit you with a bolt of electricity.
Well, there you go.
That was the part I was saving for last. Or this worm will just smite you.
fucking Thor worm over here.
I just picture a worm with this little hammer. Just
little fucking helmet with wings on it.
Somebody Photoshop. You're the Photoshop of the two of us. You could Photoshop that.
Yeah.
But no one has ever photographed this creature. Shocker.
Yeah.
But they have a friend who saw it, or a friend of a friend who saw it.
Yeah. I was in the woods high on ayahuasca, and I saw this fucking thing.
Joe Rogan's like that.
Big ass worm.
That's crazy.
And
man.
it shot electricity at me.
That's crazy, man. Have you ever tried DMT? So next up on the list is Bigfoot. We all know what Bigfoot is, so I'm not going to go into the description of that. But do you think you could take a Bigfoot?
I think I could take a child Bigfoot. Probably not an adult Bigfoot.
A small
pretty
foot.
fucking strong. Yeah. Like Bigfoot Jr. I'd probably kick his ass. That'd be me. Like, I'd see a fucking Bigfoot and it would be like, what you gonna do, bro? And I'd be like, come on, motherfucker. Like, he's like 6 foot tall. I'm like, I can fucking take your ass. Fucking fight the Bigfoot, kick its ass, starts fucking crying and shit. And then, like, a 9 foot tall Bigfoot comes out of the woods and is like, what's wrong, daughter? Yeah. It's like, pick me up. I was like, you fucking cunt, and just run away. Like, you're not gonna outrun Bigfoot. He's fucking 9 foot tall. He's got a fucking stellar span.
Well, speaking of the Bigfoot, the next one is across the Pacific, and it is the Yeti.
The Yeti.
The Yeti.
That's white Bigfoot.
The abominable snowman, as otherwise known. I wouldn't want to fuck with those.
I mean, I could take a Yeti if I was hanging upside down in its cave, frozen in the ice, and I could just like force grab my lightsaber and cut its arm off.
Some people believe that the Yeti and Sasquatch are actually a species of animal that went extinct hundreds of thousands of years ago, called the Gigantopithecus, a polar bear-sized ape native to southern Asia. But genetic analysis of hair hasn't yet turned up evidence of either animal. But
here's my thing about fucking Sasquatch and shit. If those things were real, some crazy redneck would have killed one by now.
Yeah. Do you know honestly what I think like Sasquatches and stuff are? I think people see bears standing on their back feet for like from a distance. And
probably so.
Bears are fucking big, dude. You know what I mean? And if they're standing on their back legs, that makes them look humanoid-esque. Like, I
can tell you what a Sasquatch is. It's that goddamn dirty caveman Sam Lasco.
It's a fucking Sam Squatch.
It's a fucking Sam Squatch. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Trailer Park Boys.
Go watch Trailer Park Boys.
Goddamn Sam Lasco.
Dirty fucking Sam Lasco. Number 4 and 5 are put together. Almasti are the Alamasti and the Amomoungo.
I've heard of a Momounga.
Or a Momongo. I don't know how to, but they're another ape men cryptoids.
Yeah.
That belong, let's see, the Alamasti, which apparently shares some characteristics of Neanderthals and roams Central Asia, and the Omomongo, an ape man that hails from the Philippines, that apparently likes to disembowel goats with its long fingernails. So that's creepy.
So this one's got long ass fingernails. That'd be a harder fight because, like,
right?
Yeah.
But you know, with the long ass fingernails, at least you would have the time while it's taking off its 27 earrings out of each ear.
True.
Bitch, but when I get my fucking earrings out.
I just come up and kick it in its fucking nuts as hard as I can and be like, winner, and run away.
Up next is Amphialeathmore, otherwise known.
That's French. I can kick its ass. I don't even need to know what it is.
It's actually not French. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Also known as the Big Grey Man, this creature is said to inhabit the summit of Ben Macdui, the second highest mountain in Scotland.
I don't know if it's Scottish. That could be more of a challenge.
I was going to say.
Fucking, it's probably just groundskeeper Willie up there.
Supposedly you can hear his disembodied footsteps in the gravel on the mountain, and when a fog thins, you'll see a hairy humanoid 3 times taller than a man. So yeah, I might fucking run from that.
Yeah.
Actually, now I know more about it.
Fucking Hadouken uppercut his fucking nutsack. All you gotta do is get him on the ground, then you're fine. He's probably got, like, if he's that big, he's probably got, like, cantaloupe-sized nuts. Just fucking speed bag him.
Just be like, all right, treat this like Undertaker versus Elegante. You got this.
Yeah.
7 and 8 is Yowies and Habagon. So the Yowies.
I've heard of Yowies.
Adam, report back on this one. Yowies, which apparently lives in the Australian outback, originated in indigenous Australian tales. These creatures are said to be extremely hairy and between 7 and 12 feet tall. They have been described as Australia's version of Bigfoot and a spirit that roams over the earth at night. And there is also the Hibagon in Japan, which lives in the mountains around Hiroshima. And there are many others. Experts say that these ape men legends occurred independently across all kinds of cultures. The idea of a wild, man-like, quote-unquote, other creature coexisting with us just beyond our understanding is heavily rooted in most mythology, which seems to be so, because the first 8 have been those things. So, okay, so what would you think this one is just by the name? The Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Yeah, I'm thinking like fucking creature from the Black Lagoon off of that.
Okay, so you're probably not far off. So the Honey Island Swamp Monster is a 7-foot tall, 400-pound, stinky gray-haired beast first spotted by 200s in Louisiana's Honey Island Swamp in 1963.
I'm old Greg. You ever drank Bailey's from a shoe? Want to go to a club where people wee on each other?
They say that it is the product of mating between escaped circus chimpanzees and alligators.
That sounds like a scary ass animal.
Yeah, and that sounds like, of course, it's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
That shit's out in the bayou somewhere.
It's probably the product of fucking Louisiana hillbillies having sex with alligators.
Number 10, Loch Ness Monster. We all know about the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, Nessie. I love Nessie. Nessie's my favorite.
But Nessie isn't the only aquatic cryptid out there. One of the other ones is Tahoe Tessie.
I've heard of that,
which apparently lives in California and Nevada's Lake Tahoe. And another one is Ogopogo.
Ogopogo I've heard of as well.
Yeah, I have heard that name too, I think, which lives in Okanagan Lake in British Columbia.
Yeah.
So apparently there's just a bunch of lake monsters.
Yeah. Nessie's the best though. Nessie's a plesiosaur that survived extinction. And she's just chilling out in a fucking lake.
The Mokela Momimbi, or I said that all kinds of wrong, but the Congo's Mokela Momimbi is a different water monster altogether. This 35-foot long herbivore lives in rivers and is said to resemble a sauropod dinosaur down to its long tail and neck. But it doesn't eat meat. It's just, it floats along in the river and eats grass, I guess. Or,
river grass.
River grass. Let's see. Oh, here's another Australian one. So, Adam, I want you to report back on these. You have homework, sir. It's a book report. And you even if it's dudes, I've never heard of any of these fucking things. Like, just let us know.
Yeah.
According to indigenous Australian folk, the bunyip is a creature found in lakes and swamps in Australia. I found it hard to believe there are swamps in Australia. I thought that was all dry, but I guess I'm wrong. But the bunyip is fond of eating people, especially women and kids. Descriptions of the bunyip are all over the place, but many describe it as looking something like a seal, and supposedly it lays its eggs in platypus nests.
Oh, I could kick a seal's ass for sure, even if it's an Australian seal. I'll fuck his ass up.
Okay. But could you fuck up the Loveland frogman?
I'm gonna say probably.
It's a humanoid frog. Spotted.
I wouldn't want to touch it though, because it's a frog.
Spotted swimming in Ohio's Little Miami River in 1955. And then in March 1972, it was seen by Loveland, Ohio police officers on 2 separate occasions. It's about 3 or 4 feet tall, weighs about 60 pounds with leathery skin and a face like a frog or lizard.
So, how many of these people were high when they saw this stuff? I'm going to guess, an educated guess of all of them were very, very high.
Probably. Chupacabra, we all know about that.
Oh, yeah. Chupacabra's an interesting one. Is the Jersey Devil on there?
The Jersey Devil is not on this list, but I do love the Jersey Devil. One of my favorite PlayStation games was called Jersey Devil. It was great.
I just sold a copy of that Friday in the store.
That's a good game.
Complete mint condition copy.
Oh, goddamn. I wish I had known you had that.
Oh, it was like $60.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I'm glad I didn't know you had that, because I'd have dropped $60 on it. So there's only a couple left in this list. So the Rogaru, a werewolf-like creature that apparently hunts 2 types of prey: Catholics who don't observe Lent, and naughty kids.
Good. Take them both.
This motherfucker is apparently, he'll just like disembowel you. To protect yourself from it, you need to place 13 objects like pennies or rocks on your threshold or windowsill. It supposedly works because the Rogaru can only count to 12.
That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Like, why is it stopping to count the shit on your windowsill and not just eating you?
That's what I want to know. Like, what the fuck is this?
Fucking like the fucking boogie woogie woo. If you leave the door open a bit, thanks. An easy way in, you fucking idiot.
Dude, I'll never forget when I was a kid. I found that song so entertaining, and I was like, surely my dad will find this entertaining too. Dad, come here, listen to this song. Ooh, I did not go the way I wanted it to.
I've been down that road before. What the fuck are you listening to?
The last 2 that we have here is the Ahul, which is a giant bat-like creature spotted in Indonesia in the jungles of Java. It's named after its call, Ahul, and it's supposed to be twice as large as any large flying fox bat with a wingspan of about 5 feet.
I'll fucking Ozzy Osbourne that shit.
Some people say this creature might be a surviving pterosaur. Other people believe it's an owl.
Probably some kind of fucking diseased ass owl that all its feathers fell out or some shit.
And then the last one on here is the Beast of Exmoor. It prowls the fields.
The Beast of X-Men.
Yeah, he sits around and reads books, and people are like, "What the fuck?" This beast prowls the fields near Somerset and Devon in the UK, and has been spotted numerous times since the 1970s. This is not the kind of cat you'd like to cuddle up with. The killing of hundreds of sheep have been pinned on the creature, which is said can be up to 6.5 feet long. It says that a farmer found a sheep that the face and neck were completely stripped clean, and the corpse had been sucked dry of all of its blood. And they just blamed it on this creature, like so it's probably like a puma or something like that. But
probably,
but they're just
some fucking Americans smuggled a mountain lion over there and just fucking let it go in the woods. Now it's fucking people's sheep up and shit.
So
they left Krampus off the list.
They did leave Krampus.
Krampus is a fun one.
They did.
For anyone who doesn't know Krampus is like evil Santa Claus. When kids are naughty, he comes and like eats them.
That is the Babadook. There's all kinds of
stuff. The Babadook. Like, the girl from The Ring.
Yeah, that would be what was she? A djinn? No, she wasn't a djinn.
She wasn't a djinn. I don't know what she was. Did you have djinn?
Fuck.
You have Oni.
I'm trying to think of Phasmophobia ghosts, because she was one of those. I just can't remember the name of it. But that led me to...
She's a bitch. That's what she is.
That led me to... I know that you are not familiar with the SCP Foundation or anything
No,
like it.
I'm not.
So that led me to a list that was the 10 best SCPs for newcomers to look into. So I figured we run through these. So like the first one is SCP-173, the Sculpture.
All right.
Did you play Control?
No, I did not.
Okay. There's an homage to this SCP in Control. So like there's no better place to begin than with SCP-173. This was the first SCP ever written, posted anonymously. This object is a dangerous statue that must be watched at all times or it will animate. Inevitably, if it is not being watched, it will snap the necks of people in its vicinity. So somebody has to be watching this thing at all times.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that on Steam Machine podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So this thing, there's a scene in Control where there's a guy looking at a refrigerator and he can't look away from it or it'll fuck him up. And that's what this is referencing. Or that's what that is referencing, is this right here. Also, people compare it to the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to, if that was my job to just stare at this refrigerator for 8 hours a day, I'd probably just turn away and let it kill me because, that sounds so fucking boring. So you just spend the next 40 years of your life staring at this refrigerator without blinking.
You have to learn how to blink with one eye.
Yeah.
And that would be a pain in the ass. The next one is SCP-055. This one's a pretty esoteric concept. None of the researchers containing this object know what it is. It's not that the object can't be observed, but that it can't be remembered after looking away. This introduces the concept of memetics, ideas that are dangerous. Right. Specifically, 055 is an anti-meme, meaning that it tries to erase itself from minds. This object is considered dangerous not because it poses an active threat, but because it cannot be researched. None of the hundreds of scientists in the Foundation employs can learn very much. In fact, all they know is that it isn't a sphere. And that's because they sent in an SCP that only tells lies. And it came out and told them, and just by way of doing that, they figured out that it's not a sphere. That's all they know about this thing. It's a pretty wild read. Next up, SCP-1609, the Remains of a Chair. Despite the universe being named after them, the SCP Foundation isn't the only organization involved in the strange. In SCP-1609, readers encounter an object that has run afoul of the Global Occult Coalition. While the SCP Foundation is often criticized for locking up anomalies, they aren't the worst. The GOC tries to unjustly destroy this anomaly. This pile of mulch used to be a full chair. Before, the chair would teleport behind people who needed to sit. It was unusual, but harmless. But after the GOC tried to destroy it, it turned into wood chips that will now violently lash out at people.
Fun stuff. So basically what you're saying is it was a super helpful chair, and the government was like, nah, bro, we ain't having that.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Is exactly what would happen in real life.
See? Fuck the police. Out here hurting, fucking turning helpful chairs into horrible ass piles of mulch.
So the SCP Foundation tries not to destroy anomalies, but they only make exceptions for very dangerous ones, like SCP-682. Unfortunately, this danger lives up to its name because it's basically immortal. This is a large reptilian creature with a hatred of all living things. It's me. It could rival any of the deadly reptiles in horror films. It must be kept submerged in acid, one of the only things capable of slowing it. The creature frequently escapes, causing death and destruction wherever it goes, but most notable is its testing logs, which detail the Foundation's attempts to finally kill it. And read into that because that's a wild creature. But here's SCP-999, the Tickle Monster.
It's me!
Elmo. Not all of the monsters contained by the Foundation are dangerous to humans. There's a glob of orange slime that wants nothing but to bring joy to people. This is SCP-999, anomaly rated as a safe class. It possesses the ability to make anything laugh. The Foundation views this object so highly that they even allow it outside of its cell. This is the rare anomaly with no dangerous or dark twist. It's just cute in a universe of horror. In fact, this anomaly is even able to pacify other anomalies. Even the aforementioned SCP-682 is no match for this gooey good boy.
Nice.
I would love just having a little slime that just makes you, just cheers you up all the time. That'd be sweet.
I was like, hey, Dalton, Who's got your belly?
So this is a concept that I think would make a cool movie. SCP-096, the Shy Guy.
Yeah.
So every good horror universe has a pursuer, the tall, terrifying entity that will not stop its desire to acquire its objective, smashing through any obstacle in the way. There are plenty of good examples of this in the SCP universe, but one of the most famous is SCP-096. This pale, stretched-out man will relentlessly pursue anyone that sees its face. While initially seeming like an inverse of the earlier sculpture, it goes further than that. Even drawings or videos of its face will set the Shy Guy off. Even if a man sees it on the other side of the world, it will immediately begin pursuit. It has been known to swim to the bottom of the ocean to protect its visage from being known. So, like, not to spoil it, but like one of the stories in there is that somebody was looking through old vacation photos like 20 years after they were taken, and they just noticed this thing in the background of one of the pictures, and it hunts them down and kills them.
Wow.
It's fucking, it's wild.
Fun stuff.
Here you go. Here's for somebody who likes shopping. SCP-3008, a perfectly normal, regular old IKEA. One phenomenon that's been sweeping social media is liminal spaces. These dreamlike spaces seem to go on forever, and a location that seems to be common is the popular furniture store IKEA. SCP-3008 takes this idea to its conclusion. This is the interior of an IKEA superstore that truly goes on forever. With camps of refugees stuck inside the store, hunted by creatures resembling staff members, this idea has proven popular enough that an indie developer is trying to make a survival game out of this.
Nice.
Oh, here you go, because this one's sports related. You might like this one. SCP-1733. Time loops are quite common in movies. Recent films like Happy Death Day have attempted to explore the horror premise of that Groundhog Day made popular. SCP-1733 continues this trend of deconstruction by connecting to a real event. This is a recording of the real 2010 season opener NBA basketball game where the people in the tape are aware it's a recording. Back in the earliest days of photography, there was a superstition that being captured on film would steal your soul. This SCP fulfills this concept, as sportscasters, athletes, and even fans come to the slow realization of their situation. While all these people are accounted for in the real world, these duplicates are essentially trapped. Things become more haunting as the video continues to be replayed, leading to a truly cursed conclusion.
Nice.
That could make a cool movie, too. Like, all these, there's so many SCP things that I'm like, God, this could make a fucking cool movie. SCP-1981. Ronald Reagan cut up while talking. Yeah, they get weird. Horror is often incomprehensible. It's hard to be scared by something that you understand. After all, SCP-1981 really leans into this, initially seeming recognizable, but devolving into bizarre horror. It's a recording of Ronald Reagan's famous Evil Empire address that slowly derails as it cuts form over his body. As the cuts form over his body, the speech devolves into a word salad that sometimes predicts future events. Also, the contents of the recording are different on subsequent viewings, including different wounds and mysterious figures in the president's entourage. This juxtaposition of a famous historical event and mutilation makes for a truly horrifying read. It's a good example of an SCP that's safe class, but still terrifying.
Yeah, I could see that.
And the last one in this list, SCP-3001, is an excellent short story set in the universe. It expands on the backstory of SCP Dr. Robert Scranton, who in previous articles was established as being the creator of an important piece of technology. This is where the collaborative nature of the universe really shines, being able to add more to characters mentioned in afterthought elsewhere. And the article itself is both existentially horrifying and overwhelmingly sad. The SCP in question isn't a monster or an object, but an extra-dimensional space. And the horror comes when Dr. Scranton accidentally finds himself trapped inside of it. What follows is a disturbing portrayal of one man's loss of sanity and the effect that his disappearance has on the people who are left behind. It is a thoroughly engaging exploration of a character in isolation and does well to illustrate the dangers that lie around every corner of the SCP Foundation's universe. So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend go check it out. I have spent many a night laying in bed reading through this SCP wiki and different SCPs, and they're really cool.
It makes me think of a book that I have. It's called The Zombie Survival Guide. It was written by Max Brooks, which is Mel Brooks' kid. And basically it's like a whole survival guide of what to do in a zombie apocalypse. But what's cool is at the end of the book, he puts like records of zombie attacks. And it's, it's, of course, it's all fiction, but it's like written out as like, oh, and, June 22nd, 1994, the woods outside of, Asheville, North Carolina, there was a couple camping, and they were attacked by a man, and he, bit their faces and necks, and it's written as almost like a police report. So it's really fucking cool to go through and read those.
Hell yeah. What was that called? The Zombie Survival Guide?
Yeah, The Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. Apparently you can get it on Audible as an audiobook too. That'd be kind of cool.
Hell yeah. So I was thinking about our last episode, and we were talking about TV show theme songs and stuff, and I was like, well, I wonder how other people would rank them. So I found a thing of the 10 best TV show themes of all time. We can weigh in on this. Number 10, actually one that I'm not super familiar with, Hawaii Five-0.
I wasn't a huge Hawaii Five-0 fan, but I do feel like I remember the theme song being pretty decent.
Before we go any further, do we want to guess at what's number 1? I have not read through this yet, so.
Yeah, what's your guess?
I'm going to guess it's either Friends or Miami Vice.
See, I was going to say Friends too. I don't think Friends has the best theme song, but I feel like it's the type of theme song that would win a best list like this.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we'll go with that.
Okay.
Number 9, Gilligan's Island. Great theme.
Yeah, that's pretty good theme song, yeah. A 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour pod.
Yeah.
Number 8, this is the Pink Panther. No argument there.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yep. Number 7, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo,
where are you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely up there.
Oh, number 6, Friends.
So, do you want to stop here and guess again?
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Miami Vice then.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm drawing a blank. It's late. My brain's not working. Let's see. Good theme songs. Fuck it. I'll go Family Guy.
Okay. Number 5, Cheers.
Cheers is pretty good.
Everybody knows your name. Oh, I didn't even think about this one. Number 4 is Happy Days.
I was about to say fucking Happy Days.
That's a catchy ass one.
Sunday, Monday, Happy Days.
Number 3, The Flintstones.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think Family Guy is going to be on this list. This seems like an older list. This is like a Gen Xer list.
This is an of all time list, so I mean it has an opportunity. Yeah. Number 2 is The Addams Family.
Absolutely. I could probably even argue that as a number 1 pick. Everyone, dude, my fucking kid knows the Addams Family song, and he's never watched the Addams Family, other than I think that animated movie that came out. So number 1.
Number 1. Well, this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down. Now, I'd like to take a minute. Please sit right there. I'm going to tell you how number 1 is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It makes sense. It's an extremely fucking catchy theme song. Did you see he posted an emotional video apologizing to Chris Rock the other day? So I was looking at Will Smith the other day.
The other day.
And he apparently posted a video of him apologizing to Chris Rock and crying and shit. And I don't like that. I may be in the wrong here, but I feel like he's using that as a way to make it about himself. It's you're apologizing, but you're using it as a way to get attention for yourself. Go get help, dude. Obviously you have some issues you're not dealing with, or you're having trouble dealing with. Get the help you need. Get your fucking mental health straight. Get away from that psycho ass wife of yours, because that woman is fucking toxic. Just fucking get better, dude. I love Will Smith. I really want him to get better.
Yeah, I completely agree, dude. So that led me to a list of the 10 worst TV shows of the 90s, but I was just scrolling through that and I saw Freaks and Geeks on there, and that was a great show, so that list can eat a dick. So, the top...
I watched part of that show. It was good, but I definitely wouldn't put it on like the greatest of all time list.
Oh no! But this was on like one of the worst of all time lists. So I'm like, no.
So yeah,
but so
now, I'm curious about this list now though, because I want to see if we agree or disagree.
Okay, I'll pull it back up. Let me hit reopen close tab. Okay, so the 10 worst TV shows of the 90s. Number 1 is Baby Talk.
I vaguely remember it, but I want to say it was like one of those like half a season or one season, like just not good shows.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know, it had George Clooney, Scott Baio, and Tony Danza did the monologue as the baby. Number 2 was Babes.
I don't know that one.
Apparently it was a show around 3 overweight sisters living in a tiny New York apartment.
That doesn't sound like it would be very good.
It got canceled during the first season and got backlash for the barrage of fat jokes in every episode.
I can see that. Dude, I watched, Jen and I watched through Mike and Molly like last year, I think. And while I love the show Mike and Molly, I love Melissa McCarthy, I love Billy Gardner, like, there were a lot of really fucking insensitive fat jokes in that show. Like, they really lean fucking heavy on the fat shaming in that show.
Yeah, it's like people's go-to. If you're fat, they got to point that out like we don't know.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Cop Rock. I've never even heard of this show.
Nope, never heard of it.
Number 4, Dharma and Greg.
Dharma and Greg was, it wasn't a show I liked. Was that the... No, I'm thinking of Will and Grace, but no, I do remember Dharma and Greg being a thing, but I don't know that I ever watched it. Will and Grace was the one with the chick and her gay roommate. Yeah.
Dharma and Greg, man, it was 5 seasons, and the chick got 3 Emmy nominations. So, like, I don't see how this is on this list.
Hey, how's because there's like a lot of fucking one season shows in the 90s.
Yeah. Number 5, Freaks and Geeks.
Like I said, I wouldn't put it on a worst list. It spawned a ton of really talented people in the comedic scene. So
yeah, for sure. Number 6 is Wings.
I never watched it. I don't think I know of it, but it was not something I really got into.
7 is Clueless, the TV show.
I've heard bad things about that. Never got into it.
Number 8 is Coach.
I remember that. Coach, I didn't think Coach was that bad. Coach was, what was the guy who starred in it?
Oh, fuck, what is his name? It doesn't tell me here.
Fuck. I know the guy, like his assistant coach or whatever, was the dude who voiced Patrick Star on SpongeBob SquarePants. Because I remember him from Coach. Yep. Is it Craig T. Nelson? Craig T. Nelson was in it, and Bill Fagerbach. He's the dude who voices Patrick Star. He was in it. Because I remember when SpongeBob came out, I was like, that's that dude from Coach. Like, yeah. So what's...
Number 9, so there's 10 of these. Number 9 is Will and Grace.
Oh, there you go. I didn't think Will and Grace was that bad.
Me neither.
I feel like this list may be biased.
Number 10 is Friends.
Yeah, this list is definitely biased.
Now you see why I closed it in the first place.
Yeah. Like, Friends, you can't classify Friends as the worst show when like Netflix literally paid like $100 million a year to keep it on there because so many people watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, you can't. And was Friends even in the 90s?
Yeah, it started in the 90s. And I don't think a lot of the jokes hold up, but I mean, that's going to be for like a lot of those shows back in the day, you know?
Yeah, it started in 94, so yeah. But no, like, Friends definitely does not earn a spot on like the worst 90s shows list.
So, another thing I was looking at was like, the worst led me to the best. So I was like, So I looked up Rolling Stone's 100 greatest TV shows. Now, obviously, we're not going to go through a whole 100.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But let's run through like the top 20 just quickly and see if we agree. This is where this led me. So number 20, the greatest TV shows of all time, Cheers. I would expect that to be higher, honestly.
I could see it. Like, Cheers was good, but I wouldn't, like, I feel like there's a lot better shows out there. Which, like I said, I want to preface this too by saying every best of or worst of list is an opinion piece. Yeah. Like, it's that person who's writing its opinion. So, take it with a grain of salt.
Number 19, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't think I've ever actually watched Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's pretty fucking funny. If you like Seinfeld, you'll like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I've heard people say like it's great, and but yeah, I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
18, Star Trek.
Star Trek, I could never get into. I tried, couldn't get into it.
I don't like old school Star Trek, like
the original series.
Yeah, that's too campy and cheesy for me. But I watched some of the Next Generation, and I really thought that was pretty good.
And I will say, like, Star Trek fans are rabid about Star Trek. So,
live long and prosper. Number 17, Twin Peaks. Never seen it, but everything I've heard about it tells me that Twin Peaks is right up my alley. But I've never watched it.
I've heard it's really good. I've never actually watched it though. I'm sure there's people just like yelling at their phones right now or whatever they're listening on. Like, oh my God, how have you not watched these shows?
Number 16 is MASH.
MASH is one of my favorite shows of all time.
I don't know how MASH is at 16. Like,
I feel like it should be higher.
It should be in the top 10, if not the top 5.
Yeah.
Personally. Number 15 is a show that I've heard a lot about, but I've never watched. It's The West Wing. Yeah,
I'm not into the political shows like that, so I've never actually watched it. But I have heard it's decent.
Number 14, The Larry Sanders Show.
I don't think I've ever watched that either.
It was Gary Shandling played a character named Larry Sanders, and it was like a talk show type thing, I believe.
I think I've seen snippets and stuff of it, but I don't think I've ever actually said that. It's not really the kind of show I sit down and watch. So,
well, it ran from 92 to 98, so it might have been just something wasn't our demographic.
Yeah, I was like 6 to 12 then, so yeah, probably not something I would watch.
I was nothing to 6.
You were sperm to 6.
Yeah. 13, The Late Show with David Letterman.
Yeah, I could see that. Everyone's watched The Late Show at some point in time, but
yeah,
I feel like stuff like I feel like there should be I don't want to say reality shows because that's not a reality show, but like real life shows like that versus scripted shows. I feel like they should be categorized differently.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
But I don't write for Rolling Stone, so.
Number 12, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, the last season, there's a lot of opinions about the last season or two. And, like, so I could see it not making top 10, but it is a fantastic show.
At complete opposition to the last fucking thing that we read, number 11, Freaks and Geeks.
There you go. I feel like that may be a tad high for it.
That is a tad high.
But like I said, its cultural impact on comedy, like present day comedy, can't be ignored.
Yeah, because
like you had Seth Rogen, you had Jason Segel.
Jason Segel, Mr. Never Opens His Eyes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, what is his name? Pretty boy, dude.
You lost me.
What the fuck is his name, dude? He played James Franco. James Franco.
Yeah, James Franco.
Linda Cardellini. Sam Levine. Like, there were so many people in that fucking show that ended up going on and being like big stars. Number 10, The Daily Show.
Yeah. Daily Show was fucking great under Jon Stewart. I haven't watched a lot with what's the new guy's name? Noah something?
Trevor Noah, and
Noah.
He's good. I think you'd. I've
seen like clips like posted to social media and stuff, and he's hilarious. But like I just don't watch those kind of shows. I guess like I said, I don't really watch like talk shows or any of that stuff. So,
number 9, All in the Family.
While it's a good show, that seems extremely high. Especially for like how
how racist it was, but it also
Yeah, how fucking racist it was.
but think about it, also broke down barriers as far as
True.
blacks and whites, together in the show and stuff like it. And like I think we talked about that last time, is like a lot of that show was the younger kids trying to teach Archie that he's being a grouchy ass old white man.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I eat it.
I eat it.
Number 8, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I could see that.
Can't argue that.
Talking about relevance to modern day comedy, like, yeah, Saturday Night Live has given us some absolute powerhouses in comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Number 7, The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I could see that.
Love The Twilight Zone. One of the first times I was ever truly freaked the fuck out as a kid was an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Nice.
It was called The Eye of the Beholder, or Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. And you should go watch that and then make yourself like a 5-year-old kid in your brain and then think about what kind of fucking connotations that had on my mental health. Number 6, The Simpsons.
Absolutely. The Simpsons have been putting out bangers for over 30 years now. Like,
since 1989.
They deserve it. Yep.
Number 5, Seinfeld.
Yeah. I could see Seinfeld as a top 5. Seinfeld, like we talked about before, Seinfeld is I won't say almost an acquired taste. Like, there's a lot of people who hate Seinfeld, but like, I personally think it's fucking hilarious. I love it. I think I was talking with a buddy of mine the other day where it's like, that's that show we're going to be watching as old people, and our teenage kids are going to be like, why are you watching this? It's not even funny. And we're just going to like smack them.
So with Seinfeld being number 5, I already know what number 1 is. It's because this list started at number 1 and I just scrolled down. So what do you think number 1 is on the greatest TV shows of all time?
Man, that's tough. I want to say I doubt it's in the top 5, but I feel like South Park should be in the top 5, but I doubt it is. Number 1, I want to say Scrubs. I don't think that's going to be it, but
is it Scrubs? Okay.
Scrubs is a fucking awesome show.
Number 4 is Mad Men.
I never watched Mad Men. I've heard good stuff about it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, basically the same here. I've never heard a bad thing about it, but I've never sat down and watched it. Number 3, The Tale of Walter White, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, that should have been my number 1 answer. Like, that show, I tell people, like, that show is fucking fantastic. Like, for when it was running, I always said, like, it was the best thing currently on television. Like, even Better Call Saul. Like, Better Call Saul is an absolutely amazing show. I think it's Vince Gilligan that does those shows. Like, fucking just give him contracts. Just let him make shows, because the dude's a fucking genius.
Fun fact, Bryan Cranston and Vince Gilligan first met on The X-Files. Vince Gilligan was directing an episode that had Bryan Cranston in it, and that was when they first met.
Nice.
Number 2.
Do you know Bryan Cranston during Breaking Bad's run and its popularity, he went to Comic-Con. You know who Hyperflesh is?
No.
So Hyperflesh makes super realistic masks. So like, if you Google Hyperflesh, it'll show you like some of the masks and stuff. Like, they did the crying baby mask and stuff like that.
Oh, I've seen that mask. Okay.
Yeah. So like, it's super realistic looking. So he had a Hyperflash or Hyperflesh. My phone corrected the Hyperflash. Let's see if I can find the picture.
Okay, but I'm leaving it on you to post this in the Discord.
This mask, it looks like Bryan Cranston, right?
Yeah.
He wore that mask to Comic-Con, walked around the entire day in a Walter White cosplay, fucking button-up shirt, khakis with the Hyperflesh mask. Nobody knew it was him the whole time. He fucking goes into like a panel, walks up on the stage and takes the mask off, and people just lost their shit. Like, he's like, yeah, I just walked around Comic-Con all day wearing this mask and nobody knew it was me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Number 2, getting down to The Wire,
The Wire.
The Wire.
I haven't watched that, but I really want to. I keep meaning to like start it, and then some other shit will come up, and I'll watch that instead. But I will eventually watch HBO's The Wire.
Yeah, that's another one of those shows that is on my like. I really want to check it out. I just don't have HBO Max.
Yeah.
I wish I had HBO Max.
Might have to hook you up on that one.
Oh yeah, por favor. Because then I could also watch, if I ever felt like it, the number one show that I am shocked that you didn't guess would be the number one show is The Sopranos.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
As soon as you said HBO, I was like Sopranos.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would put it as number one show of all time, but I could definitely see the argument for it.
Yeah, I think it's because it set, it was groundbreaking and set the precedent, and now like all these Netflix series and all that, like they learned that they could do that, and it would be awesome from HBO doing The Sopranos and The Wire. The Wire's right there with The Sopranos. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Because
I would say The Sopranos kind of like brought that mystique and edge to the mafia that wasn't really there. Because like before The Sopranos, you had like The Godfather, stuff like that, where it was like
Goodfellas.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like The Sopranos made it like the everyman's mafia, like
what the real mafia
people,
would be like, kind of.
Yeah, what people related to these people, and so like, oh, it's such a fucking good show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see the argument for it being number one.
And then the only other thing that I have left before we can get to the community questions, I will condense these. So, what would you say, if you had to guess, would be like considered an underrated Adult Swim show?
Underrated?
Yeah.
It's probably not the answer, but to me, one of the most underrated Adult Swim shows was Moral Oral.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever watched Moral Oral. That show is fucking hilarious.
Fun story about Moral Oral. I was in a deathcore band for like not that long because the lead singer ended up getting arrested. But like we were recording this song, and he needed to figure out something to like go before the breakdown, and he found this clip from Moral Oral where like I guess somebody had been really being nice to the guy's kid, and the guy's like, "This is rape! You are raping my son with kindness." And he just took, "This is rape! You're raping my son!" and then cut it off, and then dropped into the breakdown of the song. And so that's what I always think of when I think of Moral Oral, was that. But
I always think of the episode where Oral had started masturbating, and he was like trying to like talk to the preacher about it, and the preacher told him that part of the Bible where it's like, it's better for your seed to land in the belly of a whore than on the ground. So he took that as he could masturbate, but it needed to go in a woman's belly. So he literally jerked off into like a pastry bag, and then broke into all the houses in town and like artificially inseminated all the women in town. So he literally impregnated every woman in town so that he could masturbate.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, that show is fucked if you've never seen it, but it's so damn funny.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to run through this list of underrated Adult Swim shows, and then we're going to compare it to the 20 best Adult Swim shows ever, because there's a lot of crossover, and to me it just makes it funny. Okay. And we won't have to go into descriptions for all of these. So up first on the underrated Adult Swim shows, The Brack Show.
Brack Show was funny.
I loved Brack. Like, that motherfucker was just tremendous.
I love Brack, but every time I think of Brack, I think of MF Doom. Because he put the fucking Doom, that album out, and he used a lot of Adult Swim like snippets in the stuff, and like Brack was in a bunch of
them. Up next is a show that I've never seen, 12 Ounce Mouse.
12 Ounce Mouse is funny. Like, I could see that being an underrated one. That show is pretty funny.
It apparently has a very wild animation style.
It's very, like, it looks like it's drawn by like 12-year-olds. It's very, very shittily drawn. Like, worse than Squidbillies. But like, yeah, it's a good show though. One of
the video that inspired this that I was watching was talking about an Adult Swim iceberg, and one of the things on the iceberg was that on Adult Swim, it's like there is either shows that have really, really good animation like Boondocks, and then there's shows like Squidbillies. Like there's no in between.
I would even say Boondocks is an underrated Adult Swim show.
Yeah. Up next on this list is Frisky Dingo.
Frisky Dingo is fucking fantastic. Yeah. That show was so goddamn good.
The guy behind Frisky Dingo was also behind C-Lab 2021 and Archer, because the animation style is pretty much the same.
So this is 12-ounce mouse.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
Somebody did that in paint.
Like, I'm gonna send you this like screenshot from the show. Like, this was an actual clip from the show. It's so bad, dude. But like, the show itself was good, but the animation is just fucking atrocious. Like, look at this picture I just sent on Discord. Like, it literally looks like some shit some like 12-year-olds drew. Like, it's just so goddamn bad. Did it actually send through?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send it off.
It sent me a JPEG, but it's like JPEG_3. I'll look at it later. But the next one up on here is Mission Hill, which I've heard of, but I've never seen.
Mission Hill is the one I've told you about. Like, that show is fucking great. Like, it's not streaming anywhere, but I have the entire series on DVD, and I'll go through and watch it from time to time. It's just like such a good show. It's about like a dude like moved to the city, like living with a couple of roommates and stuff, and like his nerdy brother has to move in with him, and he's kind of like, he's like the, you know, cut loose party kind of guy, and his brother's super uptight and nerdy, and dude, it's just, it's such a good show. Like, it's definitely worth a watch. It's Brian Posehn voices someone on it. He voices one of the roommates.
I love that guy.
Yeah, you know I love Brian Posehn.
Up next on this list, one that we'll both agree, Home Movies.
Home Movies is fucking fantastic.
It's tremendous. Coming up after that, Moral Oral.
Moral Oral, fucking great.
So you were right. Yeah, that's on there. Then The Oblongs.
The Oblongs is fucking great.
Black Dynamite, which
I never watched Black Dynamite.
Me neither. C-Lab 2021.
Pretty good.
Metalocalypse.
I don't see Metalocalypse as underrated though.
Me neither.
Like, I feel like it had a pretty big fan base.
And then
like fuck, they put 3 music albums out.
yeah, and like the Galactatron or the Galacticon or whatever it was called album too. That was post. And the final one on this list is Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Tom Goes to the Mayor is probably the one Tim and Eric show that I really, really liked. Like, it was a really weird but good show. So,
comparing that to the 20 best shows on this, we'll run through these real quick. And these are in no particular order. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, tremendous.
Probably probably what made Adult Swim how big it is today.
Yeah, and fun fact. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, as the characters, they first appeared on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and they were way different than what they ended up becoming for the show.
Yep.
Also, another fun fact: Space Ghost Coast to Coast it's like Space Ghost was originally a cartoon back in the 60s, and then they made his character because Adult Swim was part of Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network owned Hanna-Barbera. They had access to all this stock footage of Hanna-Barbera, so like. The scenes where they would do like Space Ghost where he wasn't in his talk show area were actually from the original cartoon with like dubs and edits and stuff. And it's the same thing with C-Lab. C-Lab 2020 was the original show back in the day. And they just took it and made it C-Lab 2021, dubbed over it, and then edited some of the stuff to make it look funnier. And yeah, it's just wild.
You had a lot of those Hanna-Barbera characters in another show that's great, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yeah.
Like, that show took that to a whole nother level because it was like all these Hanna-Barbera characters that they just put. Like, Harvey Birdman was a superhero in the 60s, I think, and then he's a lawyer in this show.
I'm just a small town bird lawyer.
Fucking the hippopotamus. Fucking, I always do that. It's like, did you get that thing that I sent you?
Okay, so up next, Check It Out with Steve Brule.
That show was interesting. That was John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Like, that was There was some funny shit on there.
Next up is Children's Hospital. That show was bizarre.
That show was weird. I remember watching some of it.
It was like a spoof on Grey's Anatomy and stuff, and it was just wild. Up next is Delocated.
That show was really fucking weird. That was the one with the dude with the ski mask and the tighty whities.
Yeah, he always talked like this. And
he had the voice thing that they used to use on talk shows and stuff
when they would hide people's identities. Yeah, and then what's funny is in Saints Row 3, there's a radio station that plays all Adult Swim music and stuff, and it's hosted by John from Delocated.
Nice.
Like literally, he'll be like, "Hi everyone, this is John from Delocated." Up next is Eagle Heart. I've never heard of this one.
That one I remember, but I wasn't a super... It was when they started going to live action shit, and it just wasn't... Like, it was okay. It was nothing to write home about.
Next up, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Freaking hilarious. With a lawyer who does things like represent Scooby-Doo and his friends when they're accused of marijuana usage.
Yeah.
Amazing. Up next, some crossover from the other one, Home Movies. Like we talked about. Amazing.
Home Movies. Brendan Small.
Next up, one that I've watched, and this show is so painfully awkward. Joe Pera Talks to You.
Yeah, that's a weird show.
Dude, that show's so awkward. Up next, Metalocalypse. We all know Metalocalypse.
Yeah. You know what show should have been on the other list?
What?
Did you ever watch Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil?
No.
That show, you would love that show. It was basically, the devil was, I think it was H. John Benjamin. He, basically his daughter came to Earth, and like, dude, one of the first episodes, like, Jesus is a fucking DJ at like a Burning Man kind of fucking festival, and she like starts dating him or some shit. Like, dude, that show is great. You need to look up Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, and check it out.
Yeah, I will. Moral Oral. We already talked about Moral Oral.
Fucking fantastic.
The next one is NTSF SD SUV :
Yeah, that was the Law and Order spoof.
Yeah, like making fun of SVU and NCIS and all that shit.
Yes. I watched a couple episodes of it. It was alright.
One that I've never heard of, Perfect Hair Forever.
That was... I remember that show. It was a sort of spoofy anime show. Like an anime martial arts show. Yeah. It was decent.
It says that MF Doom voiced a giraffe named Sherman in that show.
Yeah.
Up next, one that like I agree, I know why it's here. I just don't like it. Rick and Morty.
See, I love Rick, and that was the show recommendation I wanted to make. I know you said you don't like Rick and Morty because he sounds like he's going to throw up all the time. You need to watch Solar Opposites on Hulu. Because Justin Roiland does it. It's the same kind of comedy as Rick and Morty, but they don't do all the fucking like grossness of it. Dude, that show is... I've been watching the new season of it, and dude, it's fucking great. It's a great show.
I have meant to watch that one because
Solar Opposites is really good.
Rick's not in it. Yeah.
Like, I love Rick and Morty, but yeah, I could see where like the fucking constant belching and stuff could get kind of nerve-wracking.
This next show, I feel like this is a love it or hate it show, and I will absolutely love it. Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken, yeah, it's pretty good. One of my favorite skits on there was like, you see, there's a bunch of cops standing around, and you see like a set of purple, like 8 feet, and like they're opening his wallet, and they're like, oh, he was saying grape ape. It's like they fucking shot and killed him because they thought he was running around yelling rape ape.
Oh my god.
That one, and there's a fucking kid using one of those, what's the fucking thing called where you pull the handle and it's like, the cow says moo. Oh, and it's like he pulls it again, and it's like, the chicken says bark, and he pulls it. It's like, your mom says because my cock's in her mouth.
Jesus Christ!
Dude. Yeah, that show is some fucking funny little mini skits on that show.
Oh, dude. And some of them are so quick. Like, there was one I remember that it just cuts, and there's these people running through a town screaming, and this big giant sun comes through with 2 big old scoops of raisins, like the Raisin Bran fucking thing. It's just like 2 scoops, and starts dumping them on people, and they die, and then it cuts away. That's the whole scene.
It's like literally 2 or 3 seconds of that.
Yeah, and then there's one it cuts to like a mongoose, and it's wandering through this tall grass, and it's like, the mongoose is the assassin of the wild. It stalks its prey, sometimes for hours at a time.
I remember that.
And the mongoose is setting up a fucking sniper rifle while this thing's talking, and then he looks through the fucking scope, and he's got JFK in the crosshairs, and just a boom! And I was like, wow.
Yep. That and the fucking one of the classic ones was the gummy bear skit.
Oh my god!
Like the gummy bear's like skipping through, like, oh, I'm so happy, but it steps in a bear trap. It's just like, ah! Starts fucking screaming, and then like she's like, I'm gonna have to chew my leg off, and like starts choosing like, oh, this is really good. And like chews its leg off, and starts hopping away on the other leg, steps in another bear trap. That was like one of the first ones, I think.
Yeah, that's old school Robot Chicken right there.
Oh yeah.
And then C-Lab 2021, we talked about that. Space Ghost Coast to Coast, we talked about that. The Boondocks.
The Boondocks is a fucking fantastic show. I love that show.
Yeah, the scene that always resonates with me, or not resonates, but like sticks out to me when I think about the Boondocks is that one where he says ho, and his grandpa's like, "What'd you just say?" He's like, "I said ho." He's like, "Boy, I don't ever want to hear you say that again. Why not? It's just ho. Boy, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna slap the taste out of your goddamn mouth." And he just folds his arm. The little kid just folds his arms and goes, "Ho!"
And Grant like jumps in the back seat, like thinking about to crash. One of my favorite ones was when Gangstalicious got shot, and like Riley went to the hospital to visit him, and like the dudes that shot him were coming back to fucking get him, and Uncle Ruckus is like mopping the floor. in the hospital, and the dudes run up and like put guns in his face. They're like, "What the fuck is Gangstalicious?" Like just yell at, like 3 or 4 guys yell at him at the same time, and they stop. Uncle Ruckus is like, "I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat yourself because I couldn't hear you over the sound of me shitting my pants." Like, dude, that show is criminally underrated. Like, it's such a fucking good show.
And up next is the Brack Show, and we talked about the Brack Show.
Yep.
So these final 2. This one I've never heard of. The greatest event in television history. It was 4 episodes.
I remember it, but I didn't watch it. Like, I remember like commercials for it and stuff, but I never actually watched it.
They only made up 4 episodes of this show. I'm reading the description because I've never heard of it, but also the shows were really all building up to detailed parodies of opening credits of shows like Heart to Heart. It was goofy and wasn't even really a show in some ways when it comes to Adult Swim, which reminds me, have you ever seen the shit that they'll show like real late at night on Adult Swim? Like Too Many Cooks?
Yeah.
Or The House with People, This House Has People in It, or stuff like that. It's just like random infomercials that end up turning into these not infomercials. It's fucking wild. I'll post some of those in the Discord for people. And the last one on this list, and then I'll wrap this up, and then we can get to community questions and get out of here. The Venture Bros.
Venture Brothers is a fucking amazing show. Like, if you have never watched the Venture Brothers, sit down and watch it. It's fucking great. One of the funniest ones to me was Dean was talking to Orpheus, the fucking Doctor Strange knockoff, and Al, the little gay Chinese like wizard guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, "So what's your dingus look like?" And he's like, and Al was like, "What?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" And Orpheus is like, he thinks that because you're gay that you have a deformed penis. And Al is like, "Are you ever even a little embarrassed about how stupid you are?" And Dean was like, "Yeah, all the time." Yeah, the Venture Brothers, like, it's I guess it's kind of like a Johnny Quest sort of knockoff.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely supposed to be like a joke on Johnny Quest, which Johnny Quest is fire. That's
Johnny Quest is in Venture Brothers, but he's like 40-year-old heroin addict. Like, yeah, definitely. If you've never watched Venture Brothers out there, give it a shot. It's good. So you know what show surprises me didn't show up on either of those lists? Fucking Squidbillies.
Yeah, you'd think it would.
Squidbillies should have been on one of those lists because that show is funny as hell. I know the dude who voices Early Kyler got in a lot of trouble for some shit he said on the internet.
That might be one of the reasons that you don't hear about it much then anymore, because they're distant.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But now...
Yeah, that show is great.
Now, sir, we are moving on to our community questions.
Yeah.
From our wonderful listeners.
3 hours and 10 minutes into this bitch.
First question comes from one lovely Hazel. She says, why do people only read the headline and never the article? This seems especially true when it's something completely outrageous. And I know what she's referencing, so let me give some context to this. We're in a group, and in this group, someone posted a thing about Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
Just saying, like, basically the article was saying that there may be a female protagonist as the main character, and that they were taking out some of the trans jokes and things like that, and like not being. I think they took out like a mission where you're a cop and your job was to shoot people or something like that. Like there was just many things like that, and the headline very much made it seem like the game was getting PC-ified, and there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, so the game's just gonna suck now."
Yeah,
and it's like, well, if y'all read it, no, it's not. Like there's nothing they're still gonna make fun of everybody, but so they take out a trans joke, like. You know,
there wasn't like a single trans joke, and they took out the mission where you were literally a cop shooting innocent people. Like, don't worry, assholes. You can still go kill black people and beat women and shit, and all this shit you want to do in real life you're not allowed to do. You can still do that in the game. You can still be a piece of human shit in Grand Theft Auto. Like, they're just not forcing people who don't want to do that stuff to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a comment in the article itself had comments, and like one of them was talking about how you won't be able to pick up hookers and stuff as a girl, and it's like, bro, you don't understand how things work, do you? Because you absolutely can pick up a hooker as a girl if you would like to.
There's this lovely invention called lesbianism that like it works. I know because I did it in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
So, Hazel, I chalk this up to what we were talking about earlier, and they're probably just being crotchety old men.
Yeah. But I can't stand people who jump up on a high horse when they haven't actually read an article. They just read the headline and start, like, flipping the fuck out. But at the same time, like, I'm going to use air quotes, journalism is so fucking shit now.
Clickbait,
that,
bro.
Like, yeah, it's all clickbait titles. It's all like ad-infused fucking websites. Like, the world just sucks now.
That's like, I unfollowed PC Gamer on Facebook because they were just posting about this Twitter shit with Elon Musk. And I'm like, dude, this has nothing to do with PC gaming. I understand that this gets you guys traffic, but you're called PC Gamer. Why the fuck would I care about what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter?
What kills me is like 15 years ago, there would have been an article that said like, you know, Papa John's founder says the N-word. But now it's like, you'll never guess what Papa John's founder said. Click this article and click through 16 different advertisements and we'll tell you that he said the N-word. It's like, fucking, I get that's how you make money, but God, it fucking sucks. Like,
dude, I fell for one the other day. Now, obviously, I'm a pervert. We've all talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
And it was talking about some model was posing. She pulled her shorts down and had no underwear on. So I was thinking, maybe a booty shot. So I clicked it, and I'm scrolling, and I finally get to this picture they're talking about. And it's just literally this chick, and she's got her thumbs like through her belt loops on her shorts, and they're pulled down, and you can see a little bit of that V.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, dude, I've seen panties that are lower than that. Like,
yep.
Oh, God, people are dumb.
Agreed.
All right, so Jeff, if you had to go to the biggest celebrity wedding of the year, whose would you want to go to?
I'd want to go to Charlize Theron's wedding as the groom.
I would want to go to, if Kevin Smith and his wife renewed their vows, I would go to that. What
Nice.
I don't know if that's the biggest celebrity wedding. If it was like a massive celebrity wedding, I probably wouldn't care about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, I just want to go marry Charlize Theron. You can come to our wedding. It'll be fucking lit.
I'll go to whatever wedding has the best hors d'oeuvres and food.
Dude, I don't like weddings. Like I don't like weddings.
I don't like weddings and I don't like funerals.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's what I tell people. Like, if I die, fucking chuck my body in a river, like, fucking put me in a Folgers can. Like, don't spend a shitload of money and just have a fucking party at the house or something. Don't go pay some funeral director like $10,000 to say some words about me when he's never met me my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking go to fucking Staples, print out like a 3x5 picture of my head, put it up in the fucking dining room, and everybody come over and talk about, you know, how great I was or how much of an asshole I was or whatever. Eat some fucking pizza, eat some fucking breadsticks from Little Caesars because that was my jam, and go on about your lives. Like,
yeah.
I said, literally huck my body in a ditch. I'm gonna be dead. I'm not gonna fucking know the difference.
I've already told my grandparents and like people close to me. I'm like, listen, I love you. I won't be at your funeral. That's not the last memory I want to have of you as a funeral. Like, that's just not my thing. Even my parents, like, whenever that day comes, hopefully, like, I know they're wanting to be buried out at my dad's got a plot at the military cemetery thing or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I might go out there and, like, but I don't want to have a big shindig, you know, and I don't know, I don't think they would want one. But my brother and my sister, if they want to handle that kind of shit, that's fine. But, like,
so I want them to take my body. I want them to carve out my eyes, put in like really intense fucking red LEDs, fucking strap like huge like demon wings to my back, like store me up in the rafters of the church,
and drop you down.
And then like midway through the funeral, just like drop me down on fucking fish line, fucking light up so my eyes are all burning red, like starts playing like demon screech sounds and shit.
Hell yeah.
Like, just fucking scare everybody out of that motherfucker. And then huck me in a ditch. Use my body to play a practical joke on people who care about me.
So, another question from Jeff. This is his only other question this week. We're sad, Jeff. We're sad.
Yeah. Come back, Jeff.
And no Kana. Our hearts are broken.
Yeah. Kana's not here.
Left us.
Why you do this to me?
Why you do this to us? So Jeff, if you were to get trained by the best celebrity chef on the planet, who would you want to teach you?
I wanted to preface this by saying I don't think I could make it as a chef. I don't think I have the patience or the level-headedness to make it as a chef. That being said, I feel like it'd be fun to get Gordon Ramsay to try to teach me how to do shit. I feel like I would just intentionally fuck shit up just to see how mad I could actually make him get.
Who am I going to have the most fun with? Probably Guy Fieri. Who am I going to learn the most from and who I would probably choose? Eric Repair. If you don't know who that is, Eric is Ripert. Eric Repair. He's a French guy. He was one of best friends with Anthony Bourdain. And I've seen him make some fucking magical looking dishes. So like, I would really like to learn a lot from him.
So I don't know his name and I don't think he's technically a chef, but have you ever seen the dude that like does the TikTok videos with the fucking, I think he's a chocolatier, I guess, and he makes those like really fucking intricate chocolate sculptures?
Yeah.
I want to fucking work with him. I just want to see like a fucking real life size dragon head made of purely fucking edible stuff. Like, that'd be cool as fuck. Like, he's not technically a chef. I think that job's called being a chocolatier, but I don't know food stuff.
I believe it is a chocolatier.
But like, yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
Okay, what's the craziest or weirdest date you've been on? That comes from Ostara.
Yeah. So I have a story about this. It wasn't really a crazy weird date, but it was a funny like kind of thing that happened. It's like we were talking about misinterpretation shit. So I can't even remember the girl's name because this was a long time ago. So I apologize, mini golf girl. But we went to play mini golf, and I don't think she'd ever played it before. I'm like, how have you never played like putt-putt before? But I was like going to show her how to hold the club. So I'm like, okay, put your hands behind your back. So she like puts her hands behind her back, like palms facing out. So I go to walk up behind her to like reach around her and hold the club. Fucking literally walked it and like fucking just like sat my nuts right in her hand. And I was like, oh God, like I backed up. I was like, oh God, I'm so sorry. And she just busted out laughing. I was like, I swear that was not my intention. I was like, okay, just put your hands at your side so I can show you how to do this. I was like, I don't want to fucking put my nuts in your hands again.
Jesus Christ.
And it was still a good date after that. But yeah, I accidentally got a fucking feel copped.
I don't have a lot of date stories, to be honest with you. Like, I've had a lot of girlfriends and I've been on dates, but like none of them have ever been like out of the ordinary. So like, I don't know. I've had weird instances, and I've talked about those before, like the blood stain on the pants and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. I'm sorry, Ostara, to let you down.
I'm trying to think if I've had any like really weird dates. I had one that really. Not really weird, it's more sad, and it kind of fucking hurt my feelings a little bit. So I was talking to this Asian girl. I can't remember her name either. This was a long time ago. But we were on like a dating app. We're talking, you know, we had a lot in common. She loved Star Wars. She was kind of nerdy. Like, we got a lot in common. So I was going out that night with my buddies to downtown Raleigh. And I was like, oh, yeah, what are you doing? She's like, oh, me and my friend or sister or whatever, they were at Chili's. So I was like, okay, cool. Or Applebee's or something. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's on our way downtown. I could stop and we could like have a drink together or something. So she's like, okay, cool. So I get there, pull into the parking lot. Me and my buddies get out of the car, go to walk in the restaurant, almost get run over by a car, like speeding out of the parking lot. I'm like, what the fuck? So we go inside and I look around. I don't see her anywhere. So I text her. And I was like, hey, are you guys here yet? She's like, oh, sorry, I couldn't do it. We just left. Literally, the car that almost ran me over was her fucking hauling ass out of there. So I was like, this chick saw me in person and almost ran me over trying to get away. I was like, that was not good for my self-esteem that night.
Yeah, I can imagine, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
like, I can laugh about it now, but it kind of sucked then.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been in plenty of situations where it's like, in retrospect, I can giggle, but at the time, it was like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. One from Christina. This is an easy question for me. Oatmeal or cream of wheat? And it's oatmeal all day.
I don't eat either, so.
Oatmeal all day.
I kind of asked her to submit a question, and she was like, I think she kind of George Glassed it. I feel like maybe she was in her kitchen, and she was like, oatmeal. Oatmeal or cream of wheat. So, thank you, Christina, for submitting a question.
Here's one from Santos. Now that Jeremy owns a Redemption arcade, what would be the top?
Fuck yeah!
What would be the top 5 games that you would put in if price was no option?
Price was no option. Top 5 games I would want. I love coin pushers. Like, fucking coin pushers are my jam. Of course, you have to have skee ball. I'm trying to think of games I don't have that I wish I could have. So there's a game I played at Great Wolf Lodge. It's a Monopoly game. And I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like The Price is Right, but with Monopoly. So basically, there's a big die on there that you spin. It's like you put your money in, you spin the die, and this wheel like turns. And it stops on one of the spaces from Monopoly. It's like all the spaces are on the wheel. It stops on a space, and however many tickets that space has is how many tickets you win. Well, say like you get Park Place. Okay. If you can spin again and land on Boardwalk and like complete the set, you get like a massive ticket bonus. So like me and Jonathan loved that game, and we played the absolute shit out of it. We probably put $40 or $50 through that machine while we were there. It's like, it was just so much fun to play. So that would probably be one. I'm guessing we're doing just like specifically redemption games.
That I don't know.
What else?
See, if it were me, I'd be like Jurassic Park, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, some sort of Street Fighter. Boom, there's 5.
There you go.
But that's just me.
But like I'm trying to think specifically like redemption games. It's funny. There's one that I talked to the guy who supplies, like my rep from the company that supplies the machines. I love this game, but the game's a piece of crap. He agreed with me. He's like, oh, it's fucking horrible. We stopped using them because they break all the time. But you may have played it if you've gone to an arcade. So it's, you know, the games where you put a coin in, there's like a ramp, and you kind of like have to time the coin to hit a certain spot to get tickets.
Yeah.
So there's one of those. It's got 4 dump trucks in it. And basically the arm like swings back and forth slowly. So you have to like time your coin drop to, if it lands in the dump truck, you get X amount of tickets, 25 tickets or whatever. But there's a little flag sticking up on all of the dump trucks. So the dump trucks fill up with coins naturally. If you can hit that flag, it dumps the coins and you get like X amount of tickets for each coin that was in the truck. It sounds really dumb and kind of simple, but it's really easy to dump a bunch of money in there trying to like dump those dump trucks. And I was telling Joe, my rep, I was like, I worked in an arcade when I was 16. We had one of those. I've been to God only knows how many redemption arcades. I've seen tons of these machines. I don't think I've ever seen one where every piece of it worked like it was supposed to. And he's like, we stopped using them because we always had problems with them. I was like, yeah, it sucks because I fucking love that game. So that'd probably be my last one, like the fucking dump truck coin game.
Okay. So yeah, you're looking, see, I'm looking for games that are like video games, and you're like, let me get that money. And I totally understand that.
See, that's what I was trying to think of, like, because I felt like the question was aimed towards redemption machines. Yeah. So those, like, that'd be like the 5 redemption machines I would get. If it was arcades, probably like Crazy Taxi is fucking great.
Oh, yeah. Outrun. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Probably like a Ninja Turtles arcade game, or The Simpsons. I'd probably do The Simpsons arcade game. Tekken Tag, probably.
Hell yeah.
There was a machine I played. I don't think they use them anymore because I think people were getting hurt. But it was like there was a plastic arm on it, and you like
arm wrestle.
Grabbed hold of it. And it was an arm wrestling arcade machine.
Yeah, I saw that.
Those were.
I saw that on Outside Xbox. They were talking about games that actually hurt people. And
yeah,
there were a few.
That thing could like break your fucking arm if you didn't give.
Yeah, there were people who had their arms broken by that machine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think they put those in arcades anymore. That game was pretty fucking cool.
And,
what else? Fucking the basketball arcade machines are always super fun too. I always play those. Like I have one of those at the store, and every day since it's been put in, I put $1 in that machine and go try to set a new high score. So I've got the high score at 68 points currently. I just every day put $1 in it.
Oh man,
and try to set a new high score.
You got to get one more point.
Yeah. Nice. I was a little upset when it stopped at 68.
So one last question, and then we'll get to the wrap up and get out of here because I am about to piss my pants. So Mary would like to know, how can you focus on recording a podcast and still have a whole other conversation? I don't know if she talks like that, but that's how I'm going to ask this question.
No, she doesn't talk like that. So that came from the fact that me and Dalton were in pre-recording, so we were just discussing what we were going to talk about and all that. I was still texting my friend Mary, and she was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm doing pre-recording with Dalton. And she's like, now? She's like, how are you still talking to me? Is it not distracting? I was like, no. Like, we text back and forth all the time, like, while we're recording the show. And she's like, well, that seems like it'd be really distracting. I was like, no. I was like, do you have a question for the show? And she asked that question. I was like, I'm putting it in. She's like, no, that was a joke. I was like, nope.
Too late.
Nope, it's going in. We're short on questions this week. It's going in.
I mean, last week when we were wrapping up, like Courtney was sending me provocative pictures, and I was able to focus and wrap up the show. So I mean, it's doable. It's doable.
I mean, I would say like tit pics would probably distract me. If anybody's out there trying to like send some titty pictures, like, I mean, we record on Sunday nights. Like, that would probably get me to fucking, like, stutter in my words. Like, yeah, and the whole thing about that is, yeah. What were we talking about? What is this? We're recording a podcast? Huh?
What's a podcast?
What's a podcast?
But yeah, so thank you everyone for the wonderful questions. We appreciate it.
Thank you all. Keep them coming. Yeah. It's our favorite part of the show.
For sure. And so if you would like to send us an email, maybe you need some sort of relationship advice, or you want to just like put in a question and ask us something off the wall, but you don't want us to read your name out, pop us an email over at yetanotherbspod@gmail.com. And just let us know that you want to stay anonymous, and then we'll get you in. Also, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/yetanotherbspodcast. We try to be active in there. I'm a little more active on Twitter, and I'm way more active in Discord, but we'll get to that. Discord is, Twitter is at Yabspod, YABSPOD. You can find Jeremy at Just Call Me Jezza, and you can find me at Super Nerd Dalton. If you would like to join the Discord, it's bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. It's the Steam Machine Podcast Discord, but we have ourselves a little corner cut out for Yabspod and all of its goodness. And if you want to find our episodes, read through the show notes, see our songs of the week, and if I remember to put up pictures, which I almost never do, those usually go in Discord, but if I remember, I'll put them on the website too. It's yabspod.wordpress.com.
And for those who aren't on the website or the Discord or Facebook, I do some pretty fucking fun photoshops of me and Dalton's heads in various situations every week for the show. This week, I was particularly proud of because I actually made us onto the fucking guys from Miami Vice and made our show name into the Miami Vice logo.
Yeah,
so
it was awesome.
Definitely go check that out. I'm particularly proud of that one. I just keep finding ways to outdo myself with these fucking photoshops. So
yeah, man, definitely go check that out. Also, if you want to hear more of me, I'm on the Steam Machine Podcast, which is a bi-weekly PC gaming show, where right now we're going through Final Fantasy VII. We'll be wrapping that up this coming Tuesday, and then it'll be his choice for his show pick. So we'll see what he chooses.
And he's thinking of doing Yakuza Kiwami, and I'm trying to talk him into it so that I can play along. And dude, I got to get through 0, man. I'm only like on chapter 10. And there's 17 chapters.
Yeah, it starts rolling though. But also, yeah, finish 0 before you worry about Kiwami, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm trying to I may tell Nate to wait because I want to play Kiwami with you guys and maybe guest on the show and talk about it, because I am thoroughly impressed with Yakuza 0. I've always seen the series and I'm like, I'd probably like this. I love Japanese shit. And then when you guys played it, I listened to the show, and it's funny because half the spoilers I don't remember.
Yeah.
So the only part I remembered was that there was a blonde chick. So I'm playing through it, and I text you today about the
tattoo.
The tattoo, yeah. Not to spoil anything, but yeah, the tattoo. I was like, oh shit, just getting real.
Yeah, I remember.
So
Nate had gotten a little ahead of me, and I sent him almost that exact same text. So I screenshot it when you sent that to me, and I sent it to them because Nate goes, because that was the same moment I had with him where I messaged him and was like, that fucking tattoo.
Yep, I saw that and I was like, what?
Yeah, dude.
Shit just got real.
And it only keeps getting realer from there.
I can't wait.
I'm the same way that I always saw Yakuza and I was like, I bet I would really like that, but I never got around to it. And I was really glad that it came up for the show, that I decided to go with that.
I think that was the one game I can remember all three of you guys being like, I'm really glad we picked this. This fucking game is amazing. Everybody was like, I'm playing more of it the next week. We're supposed to be playing Planet Coaster, but I'm 100% in Yakuza 0.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what Kiwami is. I'm like I said, you guys wait till I can play that with you, and I will definitely 100% play that along with you.
Absolutely, man. You can count on it. Then also you can catch me on the JRPG Report. It's a weekly JRPG news show. And you can also catch me now on General Gaming News with General Gamer. And that comes out every Friday. JRPG Report and the Steam Machine both come out on Thursdays. General Gaming News with General Gamer comes out on Fridays.
And Spot is on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but you already know that because you're here listening.
You already know that.
Also, because I'm always really bad at plugging this, do check out my music if you do get the chance. nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. I made the intro for this show. I made the intro for the Steam Machine podcast as well. So I just do a bunch of electronic music and things. And if that's up your alley, give it a look. NileTheNightmare.bandcamp.com.
Dude, I got super excited because I saw an advertisement on Tinder of all places, I think, for a app where you could just make beats. And I was like, I've been wanting to play around with making beats. So I was like, oh, that's really cool because like you can set the loop to record. It's like you do this and then you start your loop and you add in the, the hi-hats or cymbal, like whatever you want to add to it. And then you can just keep, cycling the loop and add all the shit you want. I was like, oh, that's really fucking cool. Download it, open it, go to click it. It's like, oh, you want to start our free 3-day trial and then pay like $15 a month? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want a free app to make beats with.
Yeah. And unfortunately, so a lot of my songs, not all of them, but a lot of my songs, I start them on an app on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I move them from that over to my PC, and then I'll add things in if I think it needs it in like FL Studios. You know what I mean? And then I'll run it through.
Yeah.
Depending on how much editing I need to do, I'll either run it through Audacity and clean it up, or I'll run it through Audition and clean it up a bit deeper. But, it is what it is. I have fun with it.
Yeah. I know some of those words. I'm like probably the most illiterate music fan in the fucking world. And I know nothing about music.
Yeah, I know, right? You say metal musicians don't know how to play their guitars. That's why I just roll my eyes at you.
Yeah.
On that note, my eyes are swimming. So for Jeremy, I'm Dalton. Do you want to do the sign off since it's your week, or you just want me to do it?
No, go ahead. You got this.
All right. Well then, until next week, do us a favor. Go get laid or something. And take it easy.